Is it working? Bam, bam. Oh, shit. My coffee. How are we looking? Oh, Corvinus is already... Beasty and Corvinus are already in and going. Bam, 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 bam. Are people casting that? Oh my god, I need to set up my entire life. I'm so behind. That's the wrong one. This one? This is my boy Lash. Louis and B. Let's watch... Wait, isn't the main one Louis and B? Oh, I guess he's doing it in French, right? Test, test, test. Is that working? That is working. Alright, let's have a look at... Beasty Corvinus. And let's put that in the thing. Bear with, bear with. I want to see draft as well. Does that work? Oh, I'm a production genius. Okay, I need to change some stuff though. Beasty. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. And then where's Discord? Let's get in, let's get in. And we're gonna play through a little bit fast to get up to speed because it's already like so many minutes in. I think maybe we play through. No, we gotta go through properly. I think we gotta do it right. Okay, we're getting started. We'll kind of maybe skip over game one a little bit. This is definitely what do we call it? A little bit of teething as I get my shit sorted. And I never go live straight away, so I never have my shit sorted. Why is that so bright in my poor face? What do we got? Okay, Beasty, game one, Beasty Ottomans on the left of Web 00. Yes, Beasty in the yellow on the Ottomans on the west side, and Corvinus on the KT on the east side in the magenta. Loving the new colors coming through. And Corvinus going for his 2TC. This man loves 2TC these days, man. He's been doing it with Jin, been doing it with Marley, been doing it with KT. It is the military school opening, so not any commitment here at all. We are going to go through even faster, though, to get through, and then we'll just sort of pause a little bit when things get interesting, as this game is already... I mean, it might even be over by this point, to be honest with you. It was going on 15 minutes when I started. Second TC, yeah, no chance to deny that. We're going to go blacksmith, stables, and military school. So the classic you see out of Ottoman, you don't really do anything different, do you? You just make some units to start with, at the very least Sapai, and then you see how things go. We did get the Antioch age up, so it is going to be sergeants off the bat, which don't... I mean, they do good against everything that's not archers, and now I'm slowing down a little bit. Just to go look on the other side, yeah, 2 archer agents. Pardon me, Jesus Christ. Which means with the Iman point as well, no Kenji here. Beasty's going to look to contest the second TC in the feudal age with the Sapai plus the spearmen, plus the archers. And it's going to be a sergeant defense by Corvinus. This is like an old school way of playing KT, but they've got a few buffs, particularly the 2 TC changes. Not a Civ specific change, but a buff nonetheless. And once you get enough of them, they do pretty well against the horsemen, up against the Sapai here. And it is, yeah, holding on. It takes about like 7 minutes. Someone put that awesome post up on Reddit, which is quite good, about how long it takes TCs to pay off, second TCs. And it takes about like 7 minutes or so before it sort of pays off, and you get that eco advantage. And it looks like at the minute it's kind of going okay for Corvinus, but I mean, like, they fucking... Ottoman just pumps units, man. It's crazy. 1 TC or not. I do want to see a little bit of the fight here with these sergeants, because they do overkill so much. That's why the line formation is so good, so it forces them to attack different targets. But when you get caught out like this, you're not going to get a lot killed. It does target the Sipahi one by one. Oh, actually killing the spearmen there, which isn't ideal. Killing Sipahi one by one, if you have enough to one-shot, it's great. If you don't have enough to one-shot, it doesn't feel great. And we'll see if he does when he attacks here. No, not quite. And the emails make all the difference, but there is only one alive, so not going to be able to heal each other. It is on a limited life, but there's so much military there. It looks like Beasty is actually not going to overcommit to killing the second TC and is going to go castle behind this, as that's what the macro suggests, as we speed up a little bit more. But it's going to be Corvinus with the one with 2 TCs getting to castle age first. And he went up with that Angevin Empire, so Antioch plus Angevin, which means heavy spam that hit harder. And if he does get those forts up, or a fort up, it's going to be even tankier, which goes a long way for KT. Trying to make the the wall there, but not quite for now. Sapai still as good as ever. Imperial Armory coming in, no surprises there. Does pick up the Pilgrim, which is quite nice. You do need a lot of gold as KT going up. A lot of upgrades to get, and of course you need to get into the forts. Heavy Spearmen cost quite a bit of gold themselves too, 30 each. Ooh, 2 vills are going to get picked up. Doesn't really matter when you are at 2 TC. And so he's picked up 3 in total, Beasty has. Oh, we're live! We're back up. Okay, cool. This is live now, sweet. And this game is, you know, it's going a little bit later for sure. I thought maybe this was going to be it, as we were at about 14 minutes. Is that true? Oh, 5-minute delay. That's right, of course. So we are up to speed now then. As it is actually Corvinus turning his sights forward. Gets a kill as well. Sergeants do a lot of damage. If you pick them off, misclicks one, but might get another one there. And does pick off another one, which is lovely. Sorry, what was that noise? Oh, no big. Okay. Let me fix that. Sorry. Ah! Fixed. And Corvinus diving with only 35 to 50, but does have the upgrade, or this time with upgrade advantage. Heavy spears, where Beasty has nothing to contest that with. 8 crossbowmen in the queue to deal with those, but nothing yet. Heavy spearmen feel so good in that early castle age where your opponent has nothing that cancels them. It really does force crossbowmen to be the only choice, which means it's going to take a time to get that mass. There's no other unit which is going to do the work. But ultimately, there's not that many units here. But there are 14 heavy spearmen, and it's going to be all about them if they can hold things up. But the archers do so well. They are upgraded now, just with the +1, not +2, but they do so much damage against the sergeants. And the sergeant count is dwindling so fast. Corvinus had the the eco advantage with 2 TC. Potentially can get up his pilgrims and forts behind it to try to secure himself. But you also always have to worry about whether they have 1 TC or 2 with the Ottoman, just how quickly that military scales up and how many units they get on the field, regardless of how many villages they have or what their actual economy is. Their military economy, how many units they get out on the field for however many resources they have, is always so many. And with that, Corvinus does have to kind of go home with his tail between his legs. Lost all of his sergeant count, but is still making them. I'm a little bit surprised to see Corvinus still making the sergeants. Definitely favoring them or considering them strongly here. Whereas Beasty has a huge archer count, and with crossbows as well. Crossbows don't do too bad against sergeants either, with the high base damage. And they don't, the sergeants just don't really do a lot of damage to them straight up because of that wind-up attack, right? Now, blocking the pilgrims. There's only 2 sacred sites on this map, and they're both next to each other. So Beasty standing in front of the base shuts down everything that Corvinus can offer. And he was on this gold here. Corvinus only just 150 gathered by these villagers, but he does have 1 in the back of his base. He will be okay there. Doesn't have anything more on the stone. And yeah, he's not looking to get a fort up either to secure that or add more pilgrims. It's about getting his eco sorted so that he can get something to break out of here. And we see it as the Mangonel, which is going to be the choice. Kind of has to against this ranged mass that Beasty's got. But, I mean, going into a siege battle against Ottoman never feels good. This is a very cheeky archer for this single berry bush at the back. Might actually pick up a kill here. It's got the Sapai in the back as well. No, Corvinus does react and pull them out. But there's not really too much to go here. It's just these 2 berry bushes at the bottom, which is the only food he has before he has to go onto farms. And there's a huge army, double the count, shit, from Beasty in the front there. But obviously Corvinus has a huge economic lead with that 2 TC pumping, but he's got 2,400 resources in the bank of food and wood, and just no gold to be able to spend with it. And he's looking to make basically only gold units. We see more barracks go down now. Is this going to be a switch into something else, or is he really feeling okay, it's still going to be heavy spearmen sergeant? And it feels like maybe a little bit stubborn on the choice on the strat here, as Beasty's pushing through with so many ranged units. And I gotta credit, honestly, one of the big things about these pro players is their decision making in the game. Oh, nice mango hit there, but not enough to do any damage. And these barracks won't finish. But the decision making of what units to make when, and then when to aggress and where. And I think Beasty's made a great call here to come in with this huge ranged mass, knowing he's not really vulnerable to anything. Or they might even pick up the ranged units attacking the Mangonel, but might be enough. Nice pull from Corvinus there. Does pull the repair, which means that the DPS isn't going to be high enough for the ranged mass to be able to kill the Mangonel now. And with the second one coming through, this will be enough for Corvinus to hold. And if these Mangonels actually do a lot of damage, some pretty decent hits. Oh, there's so many idle villages. That's 33 idle villages there standing next to the Mangonel. I mean, Beasty will take that even if he loses a lot of these units. You see the military count 40-5. There's not really much that that Beasty has to worry about here. He could just throw these away to get as much damage as he can, as many villager kills as he can. But the point I was making before is that there's nothing that Beasty has to worry about. He knows he can throw in everything that he has, and there's no cavalry, there's no second military, there's no raiding base. Oh, there's even going to get work done here, Beasty. It's very nice. It's purely about this heavy spearman, sergeant, and now Mangonels in the front of Beastie's army, and his own Mangonels coming through. One big shot, but he's going to need another one to be able to do damage, but the Mangonels kill their brethren on the other side, and this will get cleaned up eventually here by Corvinus and push out this army. Is even a stray Springald coming through to deal with these sergeants? Interesting choice, but the sergeants, yeah, they do very well against the siege themselves. This one archer, I mean, these guys are idle and he's getting work. I'm looking at this, it was at 10 before when I last looked. Now he's at 13. I really wish we had the StarCraft thing of seeing how many units each unit kills. Oh my gosh, Corvinus pulls away now, and actually, well, probably good, yeah, so he doesn't leave a gap, and he's going to wall that up as well. But he can pull back, but only so far. All the wood in his base is gone, except for this wood line, which basically can just come and do the exact same thing too. These berries are still there, which is some recourse for Corvinus, but he's turning all that wood bank into farms. Is something that's going to come through to stabilize him, but stabilizing is not enough. Beastie's got very, very close to having that that food in the bank to go up to the Imperial Age, the Ottomans' favorite place to be, and even put that Vizier point into the Bombard now. So we had the Imams, extra military skill, faster military skills, and now Bombard as well. So pretty nice place to be. Never had to press that emergency button for the Janissary Company, so I couldn't really ask for much better for Beastie's position. Oh, he's even up on the deer here. He's kind of got everything going for him. Big difference with having no cavalry for Corvinus is he really is stuck sitting at the front and trying to take a head-on fight and winning that against Ottoman, which I understand. You know, your 2TC and KT have such good units, particularly as you get later in the game, but I mean, the heavy spearmen don't scale as well past early Castle Age. He doesn't have those amazing Imperial Age units. He's sticking with sergeants for better or for worse. Oh, if that Springle Tower gets in, no, not quite. It would have been a nice waste of money. A little bit of a win. Turning the boys to fight as well, which not ever what you want to see, but yeah, needs to turn him to get. Oh, loses the two Mangonels. That might just be GG there for Corvinus, but he's a player that likes to stay in there and fight. He's get some comebacks under his belt for sure. Corvinus. Maybe a little bit of a bogey matchup against Beastie, though. I don't know how many times he's brought it back against the big man himself, but you got to hang in there and try, especially when you do, well, in theory, you should have that big eco advantage. Or at least a villager advantage. Maybe it doesn't quite translate, as he has had to make that full farm transition, whereas looking at Beastie's base, oh, he's got 8 there in the back and a few around the TC, but not too much. He's still got plenty of berries in the front as well. Trying to bring himself out here, Corvinus. He's got to get onto the wood somehow, which is it's not normally wood that you're looking for. It's the reason why you have to move out, but in this case it very much is. This area is the only place Corvinus can get wood. This gold is going to run out, oh, actually sooner rather than later. 800 left on it. This food is still there for Corvinus, but a bit dangerous, and it looks like the farm transition has taken priority. Now we see, is this the first fortress coming up as well? Attempting to come up, actually. This is a big commitment, and there's not that many villages. Only 15 of them coming along to build the thing, which is very scary if Beastie sees this. And this tower, do I have my field of view? Wrong player. Hang on. This guy knows how to play. Oh my god, he sees it. Which means that Beastie is going to be able to put this way. Oh, if it was on the bottom side, maybe he didn't. But Beastie does see it. There's no two ways about it. He's got the great bombard there already. Plenty of siege behind us with Springles and a ranged army. And then those Sipahi now see that Corvinus' army is out and about, which means they're going to go run rampant. With +2 defense, yes, with +2 range defense, they're going to be very difficult to stop. And actually, these villagers, I mean, they have to commit for it, but it's going to be really tough. Even if he does get it up to hold it, he's not the full military here from Beasty, which means that Corvinus actually has a good chance of running through all of this here. The Mangonel's coming in as well, although he has body blocked himself with the other one. This one needs to move forward. But the mass of the sergeants and heavy crossbows should come through. But you see, heavy spearmen, I should say, the heavy spearmen really don't do so well against crossbows in their entirety, especially when they get sort of peppered down by the Springolds. Such low health, that line formation means a lot of them take so much damage. Now the Mangonels come through, and you see the difference. If Corvinus could have got a hit like that around the fortress, rather than coming through now, not quite the hit with the second one, but they do keep alive, and does force the army back. Getting the Great Bombard kill was big for delaying this, and this is going to set up Corvinus' ability to get some wood, importantly enough, and to get onto the gold. But as all that was happening, these Sipahi were, and a Lancer, don't disrespect the man, were running rampant there, and I didn't see exactly the amount of kills that they got up. I didn't take note of where it was at the start, but getting 33 in total, I mean, you need such an eco lead to be able to outmass the Ottomans, 2TC or no. And it looks like Corvinus is going to move himself forward, does force the cancel on the keep, but it took no damage. Beasty's going to be able to start that one up again. Sergeants, of course, do such good damage against buildings, which helps take out this upgraded outpost, which will at some point go down here. There we go. Which is a nice little sort of security here for Corvinus. Now setting up the siege workshop. So looking to really make the most of that siege army. I can't believe all throughout this Corvinus is sticking on Sergeant and Heavy Spearman. Definitely has belief in this composition and in this matchup. Now the Imperial Age comes through. We've been posturing a little bit, Beasty, whether he was going to go up with that for a while, and finally does pull the trigger. Just, I guess, worried about Corvinus being able to run over him with that infantry army of the Knights Templar, especially running off that 2TC economy. But without all of the gold from Pilgrims, it's been really, really slim pickings for Corv. If we actually have a look at the relic count as well, that's sheep. It is 5-0 for Beasty, which is never where you want to be in any game. But especially when you're fighting for your life out of your base. Having those, even just 2 or 3 relics, makes such a big difference to having the gold eco to just tick things over. But when you're trying to make siege, mangonels, heavy spearmen, and sergeants, it's so gold heavy. And he's never been able to secure it. Like this food and wood float from Corvinus is obviously, you know, not ideal. It's not the greatest macro in the world, but more so than just being inability to spend the resources from an execution point of view. It's not having the gold to spend that money on what Corvinus actually wants to spend it on, and not really favoring a backup plan, just waiting to get the gold such that he can make those units. But that gold is being spent in a different direction now. It is going on to the trebuchets, 2 of them. So feeling decently confident, I guess, or desperate, one of the two, as to being able to break this position. We've got 6.5 minutes left on the Sacred Site timer, and his own... Did he sell for that? Oof. I think he did. Which means that it's going to be a bit of a rough situation even when Corvinus does get to the Imperial Age, of being able to upgrade everything he can. He's got 35 villages on gold, so definitely the case of trying to find that timing. Get Imp, get your upgrades in, and then go. Republic of Venice is a very interesting choice because it is those condottiero units, as well as the market traders, but I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal on this. Although he does have that neutral market secured, even though it's not particularly useful in a situation like this. Excuse me. What? Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Oh, and BC does break through. The quick wall's not in time, which means these Sipahi and Lancers are going to get through, which is going to cause a bit of a bother. At the front, it's going to be a decision or a question as to whether Corvinus can break out and take over that Sacred Site, which is not looking good on the military count. Corvinus has been making basically not really making anything, only being able to get upgrades. And we do see the first of the Condottiero in queue there. Awesome unit, a gunpowder counter, including against the siege. Oh no, is he going to be able to repair these in time? This is a big sacrifice for Beasty to send this many units through, but it's super, super worth it. And picking up like another 15 Vil kills over the course of this as well means that the villager count is almost even. Certainly not where you'd expect the 2TC to be at 29 minutes into the game. Oh, Beasty even keeping... Dude, these guys look sick, by the way. You don't normally see elite lancers for Ottoman because of the Sipahi spam, but they look awesome. Sipahi also look very, very, very cool. And these guys are causing such problems. I mean, there's... The one thing, I guess, is for Corvinus is that there's not too much to harass left because so much of it has gone down. The Condottiero don't do too good up against the cavalry. They look really cool doing it, but they don't do too much. There's another few villages which go out on that. One lone tree, for some reason, AI decided to take them there, and they die for their grave mistake. And it's just a handful of sergeants and Condottiero in the back here, which is not exactly what you would have in mind. This keep is now at full health, so these... Oh, the troops did actually get picked off? Oh, no. That was the one thing Corvinus had going for him here. And then, I mean, Beasty doesn't have to do anything, right? He's just going to wait 3.5 minutes, keep the sacred sites going. This one is... Oh, just as I look at it, the keep blueprint comes down. I was going to say, that one is exposed. But, I mean, Corvinus has nothing that he can really send there to contest it. He can send, a couple of units to try decap, but unless Beasty's really sleeping, he's not going to neglect to send his army, which is about one screen away, to go deal with that. This is the only position that he has. And it's just not quite enough. There's going to be one big push, I guess, coming in a couple minutes, but the military count is really not looking good for Corvinus. Eco is even not looking good with 6 villages in it. Off a 2TC the whole time, and maybe I spoke too soon with 6 villages. As all of the cavalry continues to come through, denying... There is still 1,800 gold, which is not a lot, but it's going to be enough to see out the push onto this as well. And actually, we're going to hit that 60 mark, it looks like, for the villager kills, which evens it up. In fact, Beasty even in the lead on villagers. Beasty maxed out on population. Corvinus wishing for anything. His wood count is exactly 0, or income, I should say. And I don't think this fortress is long for this world with 2 counterweight trebuchets firing away. Though the cavalry decided to let up and come back, I guess maybe preparing. He's done enough damage. He's done it all. He's just going to get back and prepare to secure the sacred sites and win it out that way. I mean, honestly, probably Beasty could have pushed in a long time ago, but there's no reason to take such a risky fight when the game is in your hands. This keep is up and getting secured with a great bombard emplacement. And this side is almost going to take down this fortress. With the repair rates, it's okay, but there's no stone left in the bank. Corvinus has to buy it if he wants it at all. At least elite army tactics is coming in for Corvinus, which is going to be the prompt to take this fight. As we see this first of the armies coming through from that side, second of the armies coming through from this other side, as that fortress does go down. But it's not about keeping this position secure for Corvinus anymore, as all of these villages go into the nearest wood line. There is no gold left. There is nothing left. There is just one engagement left for Corvinus. He has to win this fight and push back this sacred site of Beasties to have any chance left in this game. A couple units left over on that stray Lancer. Beastie keeping everything back, not looking at all to get in and stop or to raid the economy. It's all about this here. I just saw incendiary arrows finish for Beastie, which means his 63 crossbows got even more dangerous. And here we go, the A moves come in, those crossbows with the range, and they see how much the damage they do to the Condottiero as well. It's really not the counter that Corvinus would like. The front line even is going down really quickly here for Beastie, but it doesn't really matter as long as the backline survives. A great bombard emplacement even from the keep. The siege is all going down. It's just that Springald there, but it's just a handful of slow attacking sergeants left and a lot of crossbows and a lot of knights actually coming through with the reinforcements here. It's full knight crossbow coming out for Beastie to clean this up and to move across. It does not go down. There is nothing against the other sacred site to threaten a decap, and it is just so many crossbows fully upgraded in that line formation, shooting off as against many of these sergeants as possible. And Corvinus, he is remassing. He's giving it his all, but GG is called. Game 1 goes to the Beast in pretty convincing fashion, but I credit Corvinus there for hanging in, going for the 2TC, holding on to the 2TC, And we see the resources gathered, you know, it really is in his favor for most of actually the entirety of the game, even with his base really pushed in, but just not able to keep up with the production of the Ottoman, and particularly with the 5 relics that Beasty secured. There was very, very little chance. Thought maybe there were some periods there, but it did feel once Beasty took the map, there wasn't too much that poor old Corvinus was going to be able to get done. So GG, game 1 goes over to Beasty. And with that, let's go have a quick look to see if the next game is up already, and we'll jump straight in. Otherwise, we'll take a break for a second to look at the draft, which I haven't looked at myself yet either. But it looks like they are in. So we'll start queuing us up. It looks like it's going to be... Looks like it's going to be Corvinus on the Holy Roman Empire and Golden Horde for Beasty. Let me fix up the scores and we'll crack in. So Beasty's going to be on the right, or is that never how it works? Let's assume it is. Whoops. I have so much ability to mess up my OBS because I actually change stuff in like scenes and stuff. I'm not an expert in the slightest when it comes to doing any of this shit. So I'm very much winging it. So actually we can use this time to look at the draft. Boom. Okay, so this is the draft from them. We had... Okay, so Golden Horde is picked here. That's not very helpful. Okay, and then we've got an Ottoman. So Ottomans did get the win, and Knights Templar lost. And now we have Holy Roman, which is picked, and Golden Horde, which is picked. And it was Byzantine, Mali, Ottoman bans for Beasty of Corvinus, and Malian, Byzantine, Chinese. The other way around. So Byzantine, with the patch, has been given, and Malian, really given high priority, which is quite interesting to see, I think. Is the game ready? We've got 1 minute left. Quite interesting to see. These are the maps, by the way. So we've got Beasty banned out Mountain Clearing and Kawasan, Corvinus banned out Hillendale and King of the Hill. So we've just seen Dry Arabia. We've got Gorge, Four Lakes, Lakeside. Oh, Lakeside's in the map pool. Interesting. Okay. I saw players practicing it and I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. And then Baldlands is also that pick as well. Okay. Or was that Baldland we just saw? I wasn't paying nearly enough attention, actually. There were only 2 sacred sites, yeah? I think it was Baldland then. Interesting. Okay. And then, yeah, again, so looking at the rest of the draft then, it took like, and Jin actually getting through for Corvinus. Oh, I can't wait to see that. In Chinese, Macedonian and Sengoku, such big picks. Jushi's getting such love too. Delhi is something I think Beasty still believes in. I'm not sure how that one goes anymore. And Mongols, presumably just for the hybrid maps. But I love when we get to see old Corvinus's drafts, man. He does some weird shit, but he really believes in it, which I have a lot of respect for. All right, let's get the heck into this one, guys. Oh, boy. Okay. Game number 2. Corvinus against Beasty. We have in the very beautiful magenta in the bottom left of our screens on the Holy Roman Empire. It is Corvinus. And we all know and love him in the top right of our screens. In the color yellow, on the Golden Horde, it is Beasty. Love to see the Golden Horde. They've obviously got, you know, a couple of times their, that nerf hammer. To see them not be quite the same as what they used to. Yet, every time they get nerfed, they seem to get even higher priority from our players. And we saw it at Homestead Cup with Golden Horde not only getting a lot of priority, especially from the Spanish brothers, but then also the success it had in the games itself, being that pick, which wasn't quite good enough to ban or to snipe out every single time, a la like a Malian, but able to get through. And I think we might see that the same with Golden Horde in this tournament. A real powerhouse on these land maps, and especially against fast castling civilizations. One civilization which doesn't get a lot of love and I think it did get changed, but I wouldn't say in a particularly loving manner, is Holy Roman Empire. So this feels like, on paper, an incredibly one-sided matchup. But you don't expect Corvinus to just sort of like go down lightly. He's gone on to the deer early, which is something we see often out of HRE and Order of the Dragon, to help stimulate that food eco, and with the inspiration buff gets a lot done. Hasn't opted for the survival techniques, so it is just going to be well, it will be that sort of faster age up, with a bunch on gold as well, which makes a lot of sense in terms of getting out there early. And you know that Khan and Torgids are going to come out soon for the Golden Horde, but soon is very much relative for this civilization because they can only age up so quickly. It takes literally a minute 45 seconds, which is fucking ridiculous if you ask me. Well, if you ask me, but then again, I really thought that the Golden Horde were going to be in trouble with all of the nerfs that came through, and they keep showing that actually they're pretty all right. So what do I know? Whether, you know, sort of the last changes to Torgids and the like are going to be what it takes to take them down a peg, I don't know. But they still definitely have that priority to start this tournament. Ark and Chapel coming through, 4 villages off the gold, and like I always will look at when it comes to Corvinus games, whether he is going to go onto that second, or onto the stone for that second TC or not. In this game, it looks like probably not. And maybe a clearer decision to make for, or up against the Golden Horde, just because of their ability to crush, well, crushing a fast castle and crushing a 2TC, kind of very similar challenges to face, and Golden Horde are one of the best civs at doing that. If it is going to be a potential, you know, switch to castle, and it looks like it's probably not going to be, at least not quickly for Corvinus, then having the extra sheep and getting the deer early makes a big difference. So an extra 6 sheep picked up for Corvinus, which is really nice. Makes a much bigger difference for HRE to get that than for Golden Horde. So a big swing there for Corvinus. That's a lovely sight for the man, which will help him out. Actually, 23. Are there even more? I really wish this showed neutral sheep, like Cow's overlay does. But unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. The technology is still cooking. Ajak comes in for Corv. There's still a minute to go for Golden Horde. I think it's so ridiculous, but again, what do I know? Prelate going into the Ark and Chapel, and then, yeah, we get to move out to Woods. So we are going to see some units. We're going to see some production. See how quickly these guys hoover up all the deer there for HRE with that inspiration. Beasty, nothing too, like, different. We'll see what the production is that comes down. Khan and Torgids is kind of the only go-to these days. Being able to get them out so cheaply and so quickly, and the scaling that it gives you. I mean, even with the Torgid health nerf, they're still really good. As it's a little bit cheeky there. They're quite far away. It's going to give some time for the Khan to come out while these villages are still on deer. But honestly, with all of this, there'll be 2 full deer left, I think. Maybe actually less than that. Oh, no, there's another one there. There's a 3rd one. So, yeah, it actually is a decent denial once Beasty gets across there with the Khan. Depends how quickly he queues it up, and he does queue it up very quickly. Second Uvu coming in, and we'll look to see what the production is that comes down from him. But for our HRE player, see this quite typically, to be honest with you, as horsemen cost so much food. We see the barracks and archer range first, but actually, scratch that. We are going to fully commit to this aggression with a stables as well. So let's keep an eye on what Corvinus has cooking. He's got the double broadaxe as well, so definitely not looking to go up too quickly. There is a bit of gold in the bank there, but that is for upgrades. Now we see, yes, he does pull off. We'll see if a blacksmith does come in at some point. But he does pull off there from gold. It is going to be a full feudal commitment, which is an interesting one for HRE because their units are so stock standard. The only thing they have going for them is the marching drills. These guys are bloody fast. 1.38. We'll see if we can click on an archer from Beasty when it comes out, but they're slow compared to that marching drills. Beasty actually not going for the deer right away, although Corvinus brings it back anyway. Bit of respect there as wheelbarrows coming in as well. And it is just the archery range for now. These, ooh, okay, they were getting pulled. There was still plenty of sheep there. That wasn't running out. They were just getting pulled to go to the deer. Nice and safely too. There's not really anything to worry about. Yeah, 1.25 there for those archers. 1.38 movement speed for the HRE. Really, really nice. And especially on a map like Gorge, where you sort of look, it's quite like straightforward where you're going to go. Either you're going to go directly across the map to your opponent's base, where you can, like, you know, try to attack the gold up front. But it's the food that you go out to, right? And obviously, the stockyards from Golden Horde are fantastic. They cost a little bit more now, 275, not 250. But they are always going to want to get on that hunt. So it's a question as to whether Corvinus, with their early feudal commitment, is going to be able to get any damage done on this side, or whether the Golden Horde scaling is going to be enough in that feudal age to hold back anything that Corvinus can throw. And especially with those tanky tall goods as the front line, there's otherwise no like feudal knight type, feudal heavy cav in this game, which does mean those tall goods are even more of a threat. Horseman diving on a spearman, which is very nice, and the tall goods, they don't do very much damage. So with no spearmen here, the horseman will take a little bit of going down. But there are not many spearmen here from Corvinus either. The damage arrow comes in from the Khan, so they're going to do even more damage to these units, which is very nice. That 10% there that comes through, which is probably not even a full bit of damage, but there are decimal points in the game, don't forget. Another spearman waltzing in, but only by himself. We'll pick up the scout, so that's a nice little tidbit, but it is easier to produce scouts for Golden Horde now. But no, without more spearmen, it does become difficult, but this one is the one that breaks the camel's back. And the Torgoods do have to walk away there, but Beasty has to keep committing to this and keeping the count down, whether he's picking up reinforcements or whether he's picking up the units right at the front, because if he doesn't, there's nothing to protect all of these villages here from being ran onto, and actually does pull them to attack even. But now that the archers and spearmen are coming here, he's not going to be able to do that. Corvinus 16-4 military count, definitely believing that with the economy, that early inspiration economy of the HRE, he's going to have enough before Golden Horde get ramping to be able to take this position. At the minute, not able to do too much. Did get one eco kill there, but nothing more yet. But that is a nice little start. It's a little bit of a difficult decision, I think, for Corvinus, how much you mess up before you go in, or how much you need to be getting in there and doing that damage now. What's your timer? How much can you wait, and how much do you have to go? There's nowhere else he can really attack. The woodline at the back, we kind of have to go through this to get there, and that fortified outpost means it's really difficult to get onto the gold itself. And the gold is not as big of a deal because this is those like trash feudal units being messed up and messed up and messed up. Behind us, it does mean that Corvinus is able to go out on the map. And Beasty can't really like spare like one or two targets to go run off to go raid, even if he is aware of that, can see the deer through the fog of war, of course. As Corvinus does come in now, decent spearman count there to get onto the targets at the front, but there are a handful of archers here, although Corvinus is doing a great job to pick those up micro, and then we still don't have upgrades in. We've got +1 range defense for Beasty, which makes a big difference in these fights, but none of those military upgrades or range upgrades there for Corvinus, who's now turning his attention to the villagers, gets a couple of them and forces it back. If he's got enough here to push this back, it's just a target, which is a problem. Without spears, there's nothing that Corvinus really has to kill them, and knows he can't kill the target, so runs those archers through. And now the Kairash only coming in now, which is maybe a little bit of an interesting choice, or one he wouldn't make in hindsight from Beasty, to not have those Kairash out sooner against a decent archer blob, as that +1 armor goes a long way. And even against melee, honestly, that extra armor is quite helpful in this level of skirmish. But Beasty does clean it up, does push it back, but takes 5 vils for his trouble, which is not terrible space for Corvinus to be in, considering he's able to take the map food behind us. He's got survival techniques coming in now and clean up one deer pack onto the other one, whereas Beasty basically just over half of that deer pack, and has now got his first stockyard out, which cost 275, not 250 anymore, which does mean that sort of scaling that Golden Horde has is not quite as powerful as it was. But the problem here is it looks like Corvinus is wanting to turn that aggression into a castle age. Yes, he's even getting that tower down here to try to hold this push. But Beasty can turn all of this into aggression, and actually Corvinus still doesn't have those upgrades. He did get the blacksmith down eventually, but he's got these queued up, but they're going to take a while. They're 1 minute each. This is no minework palace fast and cheap upgrades here. which means there's a decent window here for Beasty to get some damage done. The window is there, but where is the damage to be dealt? The food's all the way down here, which is honestly ages away. And the gold, funnily enough for Gorge, is in a pretty safe spot. It is not uncommon for this gold to sort of be up where these berries are, kind of like where Beastie's one is. So that's actually makes a big difference. This tower wasn't even finished. If this gold was at the front, that would have been huge for Beastie. And as a result, he knows where the food is, of course. You can see the deer are killed through the map. He doesn't even have to scout this. He knows that's where they are. But Corvinus reacts quickly and pulls these guys away, and they can go, yep, saw the right click, the blue line there. They are going to go onto the berries, which was where Beastie's army was, but not anymore, as he has to be down on this side. And we see, I think this is honestly not a bad choice at all. The Burgrave Palace, the kind of win now or go home button. It is 1-0 to Beastie. This is not the series decider. This is a best of 5. All these games are going to be best of 5 until the playoff stage. This is group stage round robin. And with this, and it looks like it will go up. Beastie does see it now, but there's only the target here, which means the spearmen are going to be able to push that back. There's nothing that Beastie can do. And the range upgrades are going to come in as well, which makes for a nice little timing in case the rest of the units come in. But here we are. They are in, and it's going to be, yep, the upgrade on to the men-at-arms. It's going to be that full men-at-arms commitment here. As even if Beastie ticks up to castle age as soon as humanly possible, it still takes that 1 minute, may as well be 1 hour, 45-second time to get in. 1 minute 50 actually for castle age, bro. What are we doing? Which means that there's a huge timing here for Corvinus to be able to go get something done. This case, which, okay, just looking to send that one archer to prevent now. Oh, but Beastie's sending the rest of his army down, thinking that Corvinus would go back. But he's not thinking about that at all. It's going to be only the all-in and potentially relics behind it. So we'll see if a monastery goes down, of course. Yeah, there's the monastery as well. So it is a bit of an all-in, but also it doesn't have to be an all-in in the sense that you need to kill your opponent or the game has to end in the next 5 minutes. You just have to get a huge advantage in the next 5 to 10 minutes for this to be worth it. And getting all the relics is one way of doing that. Muscovy Yasak is coming in now, so we've still got a minute 40 on the clock. So still plenty of window here as those Torgods come in and do get their first eco kill there from Beastie and then turn around. Getting the market there to trade up for Corvinus. Pushes off gold, which is very big if you can deny gold entirely with the castle timing. There's nothing that Beastie can do to upgrade. And if you look on the map here, the mini-map in the bottom right, there's really not any other golds that Beastie can go to that aren't on the side. But Beastie comes in for the fight. The horsemen are coming in. I don't think these are upgraded. No, they're not. The archers are, though. That's the biggest thing. And this, unless this fortified outpost is being manually targeted, it's going to attack the closest unit, which actually, as the archers sit underneath it, kind of makes it perfect for Beastie. But these archers, and still 50 seconds to go, means it's going to take a long time not to only get them in, but then to get the upgrade, which Beastie does not have the gold to do because Corvinus is sitting on it. The Torgods are doing a good job at getting in on those archers, but then as they... Oh, is he going to pick them up? Yes. If he moves quickly, remember the marching jewels make these guys faster as well. Doesn't... Only picks up one and then lets the rest go away, but is denying the gold nonetheless. Are these villagers coming out? They are coming out. They're going on to food to start with. And Beastie really... He just has to hold. But if he does hold, it's huge. And we see on the mini-map as well, that is men-at-arms coming crawling across the map. The men-at-arms obviously are coming out cheaper and quicker. Well, quicker at least. But they also have that 50% charge damage, which makes them a lot more powerful. The spearmen do as well. Into all of these units, but particularly the Torgod. Now, the Torgod don't need any upgrades. We saw them come in, the veterancy come in right away, which is really big for Beastie. And Corvinus doesn't really have anything except for these 3 spearmen that can really deal with those Torgod. Although the heavy maces have come in, but you see they're not trading. In low numbers, they still don't trade very well. The archer upgrade is not able to come through either. There's no gold in the bank for Beastie. Still just prioritizing their food to get some units out. All of that gold is going straight onto crossbowmen to deal with these units. The archer is still the only thing down there. And it is enough! It's enough! Corvinus does take it. I wasn't sure if that was going to be enough or not, but he does. GG is called. The Burgrave wins again. And I mean, I'm not sure if the difference was these 5 villages that meant Beasty just didn't quite have enough, or whether he wasn't able to get across. I really wish I could go back in and see the game, see the map state. But he does. The trade outs were still pretty even. The economy here for Corv is obviously better. I mean, the gold is the biggest thing, right? Just how much denial Corvinus was able to do. But dude, I was not reading that right myself. Holy shit. Corvinus absolutely coming through. I thought maybe with the gold on the bottom side of the map, there was a chance for Beasty to be able to get enough, but his production was also sitting on that gold, right? On that fortified outpost. So that was the only place those crossbowmen were coming out from. And dude, that's really well done. I mean, I really wouldn't have thought Golden Horde or HRE would have a chance against Golden Horde. But like, what the fuck do I know, right? So if we go here, Golden Horde lose. And HRE, everyone believes it, come out our victors. That's wild. That's amazing. If I do this, does it look better? Oh, look at that. Production quality. That's crazy. Well played by Corvinus, man. I feel like he always really struggles against Beasty. But that was a great game. All right, we're going in now. The game has started. We're going to be on 4 legs. And we're in for a treat, boys and girls. Oh, my coffee is like almost cold. I'm just going to turn it. We will have a bit of a delay. But let me show you here what has been picked. It is on 4 legs. It is a Jin Dynasty and a Jushi's Legacy. As we are going to have 35 seconds only to wait. But yeah, shit. Well, let's do the scores, huh? That's a 1-1, baby. Never in doubt. Trust the man. Honestly, sick. Corv showing HRE's still got it. I think it's interesting as well to do that against Beasty. Beasty is a huge HRE lover, but not necessarily an HRE believer. And it's not like the most recent patch really helped in that situation, right? It was just a case of HRE just doing HRE things as best as Corvinus could, and it was paying off. Now, okay, fuck that. Let's jump into this, all right? That game is done. GGs were had. In the right-hand side of 4 lakes, in the magenta once again, on my beloved and his beloved Jin Dynasty, it is Corvinus 1. And in the top left of our map, in his color yellow, on the Jushi's Legacy, a 4 lakes powerhouse in the color yellow, on Jushi, it is Beasty. All right, let's crack into it. All right, I'm only going to talk about Jin. Jushi's great. Okay, it's always been good on water. Meditation Garden is still really good. Zhangnan Tower is very good as well. Cool Beans, great rework, great civ. Love to see it. Jin Dynasty, they've been getting a little bit of buffs. They've always been seen as being pretty good on wood with those on water with those mounted villages and the wood eco that you can get with them, and their ability to pump out a pretty good eco or turn that eco into a lot, particularly if you can get into the later stages of the game. And since the units are a bit better now as well, the cavalry, and as well as like a 2TC playstyle being very good, they've kind of got buffs across the board. Their ability on water was kind of where they were first seen as having a chance. They've been kind of buffed in a lot of areas that aren't really the water. But Corvinus has been playing a heck ton of them. Like a lot of Jin. Different playstyles. 2TC land seems to be honestly where I see him play it the most. But has brought it out on this hybrid map. Which honestly, if Corvinus is willing to play this on both land and on water, makes it a really strong pick in his draft. So awesome to see him pull it out for game number 3. Matchup wise, I mean, it's still really hard to go past Jushi in this matchup, to be perfectly candid with you. But I don't think it's a bad pick. I don't think it's a troll pick. The old game plan used to be you use the eco, hold on, and try to get imp. And then you really shine. I don't know if that's really the case now. At the very least, the earlier parts of the game have definitely been improved for Jhin, and whether that's something that's going to be able to hold true. At the minute, it is just still the single dock, but producing fishing. And we've got the same here coming out for Beasty. We are now going on to gold and the village coming through. And for Jhin, we're not looking at gold yet either. But everything is still looking great. These guys are so good on shoreline fish, by the way, the mounted villages. Look how fast this shit goes up. It's so stupid. And by stupid, I mean in a good way, because I love the civilization. So we went up to 4 fishing boats apiece. No, a 5th one is going to come through for Beasty. Still not on gold for Corv, which is interesting. He switched to the normal villages. I know this man has a build order for this. I know Corvinus doesn't really believe in build orders that much. But like, I'm sure as an opening build order on water for Jhin, he does have something planned. And okay, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention at all. He snuck it out on me. It is the follow-up barracks. That is why he wasn't on gold so early. Fuck build orders, who cares? And actually sends the mountain villager. I mean, they win the one-on-one pretty comfortably against the villager. And it is going to be the spearman coming across. Now, with the timing, is this going to be enough? I'm not sure whether this is enough or not for Corv to be able to take it down. He's not producing any more spearmen than this. Is that by choice? He's making another barracks, but not more spearmen. No, he is making them now. Juggling Tower is going to come out, but it's going to take a while for Beasty to be able to get something in here. And with just honestly, I think with three torches is probably enough. 4th will definitely make it happen. I'm just going to finish my coffee before it gets too cold. But I'm loving this from Corvinus, and this is off a scout too. Like Corv realized this is what Beasty was going for. Just to sing the single dock here, play here, and then going for the age up, and he would have enough time with the mounted villager and the double barracks, which is kind of wild to me. This feels like a huge commitment to kill this. And Beast, I mean, he has to really commit if he's going to get it, though. There are lots of a lot of torches needed here, and this ship is going to get out in time. He's microing it around, but he knows the time. This thing comes out pretty fucking quick. Okay, 3 seconds. It's going to come out. He's building this dock, but this might be enough now that it comes out to push back the mounted villager. Oh, that's a big shot heading for them. Another big shot. He needs to kill the villager, though, or at least send it home. This is a Jushi dock coming out now. Gets the burn, but if Beasty can't get across, and oh, Corvinus can kill it. It's big, but this is so difficult to micro, by the way. You need to take this down. Actually, he does going to get it down there with the scout. Pulls the spearman across. He needs to get this dock up to make all of this worth it, because for Corvinus, he needs to be able to hold this position as well, not and fully deny it, not just get that one dock down and then go home. He needs to get a lot more done than what he currently has. The mounted villager, every little hit it takes is so bad. These spearmen all going down as well. Beasty can just play ring around the rosy. As long as he doesn't lose this, he's in a good spot. And that ship doing so much damage, it doesn't matter that that dock went down if this one goes up. He just needs a place to stay. But the villain, oh my gosh, the audacity to stand there and fight. Just keep them still for the ship to do its damage. This dock goes up. These fishing ships are all back to work. These, we're now to feudal for Corvinus. He does get the kill on that villager who lived a very valiant life. But these 2 barracks, a house and a half-finished dock. Oh, he pulls 2 mounted villagers now. These guys have to survive this. Is this a dock? Oh my gosh, he did dock during this whole thing. I didn't even see that. I've been so tunnel vision here. He does get it up. Does Corvinus on this side. But he's going to lose this side of water as well. And he just had 4 fishing ships, Corvinus. It was just the 4 fishing ships and then a full commit onto the land to deny. This dock is going to go up as well, even if this guy does die. And actually, I don't think he will die. He's going to get away. We see the first ship coming through. A war junk's going to come through from that dock. But it's 2 docks to 1 on this side. And so much fishing in the favor of Beasty. This doesn't look great. I don't have any commands, Patrick. I'm a fucking muppet, but it's... Wait, it's 1-1, brother. Stop it. But it is best of 5. It is best of 5. Village is going to get home. Docks are up. Warjunk's going to come out, but there's a junk and a warjunk. And of course, you've got the advantage of fishing, boat healing as well. Is he going to make anything out of this, or he just gives it up? There's not really too much he can do, and Beasty is actually committing even more on that side as well. This warjunk isn't even able to target the junk itself. It's going to get that kill. If it blows up, that should be enough to kill it. If it can't let it heal too much, though, or else... Oh, he does get it. That's very nice, which means that Beasty is going to have to recommit here, but he does have 2 docks to do it out of. This side is looking basically done. Another dock is going to come through as well to get that healing and the extra pressure there, which could potentially just be as easy as 2 docks to 1 for Beasty. 2 ponds to 1. This side, grassland's not up yet, which does make a big difference being able to produce out those iron pagoda quickly, or whatever it is that you want to make out of those, out of that great pasture. And being able to make it in range of it means you just need you don't need that extra war stables either, which is really nice to pump out as many cavalry to try to play that land game as well. But honestly, there's not enough to be able to contest with this, even if I hate that this isn't under this, by the way. But I guess Beasty's got quite a lot on his plate that he doesn't need to use the Jugna Tower. War junk. This is a little bit of a micro battle here, but Beasty is onto it there, and that does stay alive. And the ship for Corvinus goes down, which is not great there. Scout and Iron Pagoda trying to get in on that side, but Scout goes down, which means there's just 1 Iron Pagoda left. Both ponds now well and truly under wraps here for Beasty. Corvinus now trying to double dock his other ponds, but this is looking to make a comeback, doing the same thing that Beasty's been doing for a long time on the water. 9-3 fishing boats, but really it's 9-0 as these 3 are just sitting alone in here. And yeah, Beasty even adding his own fishing here out of these 2 docks. Couldn't be much better. The world is Beasty's oyster here. He does have finally 1 building under the Jugnan Tower, and I'm sure he'll add more there as well. Basically, yeah, he can do whatever he wants, whether he wants to commit to feudal and go across the map and deny out all resources he can in this pond, or whether he wants to go castle and finish it out that way, nice and easy. This dock looks like it's basically been given up on as well for Corvinus. Unfortunately, those 3 ships do go down. It is only this side of things, which is going to be 2 docks. But actually, Corvinus that worried about getting docked himself, knowing he's got nothing to counteract it, no land army to speak of, is actually even had to opt into a military ship, the junk, to start with before he can do his own fishing, which is so sad. The eco is insane in favor of Beasty. The military is in favor as well. The only thing, yeah, the only thing Beasty hasn't got rid of is this house and these barracks at the front here. But yeah, he's making more units now, or more production now. The 1 Iron Pagoda, the 1 thing to Corvus' name, has 1 hit left on it. And is nothing else to show. Corvinus trying to sneak out, and this is where Mountain Village is really good, like with the first one moving out to get the buildings up on this side. It allows Corvinus to be able to get across the map easy to dock this. Beasty actually really doing a good job, and yeah, he is going to get his first chunk, which might actually deny this as well if he moves it straight away. He's going to have 1 pond to his name, to Corvinus, but not much else. We see 3 Mohe tribesmen get insta-produced out of the grasslands, which is nice to an extent. I'm not sure what damage he can really do. I mean, he's obviously up against a bunch of spearmen. It makes sense from that respect, but not much else. Beasty does send the junk across right away, and you see that damage. The mounted villager dies. The dock is cancelled. This Iron Pagoda is still alive. That's nice. The house is going to go down, which will actually force Corvinus to make another house earlier than he'd like. Who looks like he just wants to go castle. And this is a really difficult place to be with anybody, but especially with Jin, as your castle timing really doesn't give you anything. With the Dragon Pavilion, it kind of secures you up. It's nice, and you can get the tributary states out nice and quickly. It's a small win. But unit-wise, there's not really anything you can go for. And there's going to be Dragon Pavilion, so you have to secure up the gold. But there's not really anything else that you get. If you have a big cavalry mass, you get a little bit of a timing because the Mohe Tribesmen and the Iron Pagoda veterancy upgrades are half price, and they are researched in half the time of normal veterancy upgrades. So they're really, really cheap, really, really quick, which gives you that little bit of a power spike, which is nice. Particularly for those Mohe Tribesmen, which have the same damage as normal archers now. But that's kind of irrelevant in this game because Corvinus doesn't have that army mass himself. So it is just going to be the tributary states with the emissaries, which is that kind of initial part. And then I guess trying to play relics. But I'm interested to see what units Corvinus thinks he can make and what he's going to throw down. We do have that machine workshop, which will allow crossbows, which aren't great right at the minute. There's going to be rams to take down. Right, yeah, fair enough. Try to take back your pawns. It is 3-1 at this point, so I mean the game is slipping away. I mean, I was going to say slowly, very quickly. It would be a huge comeback for Corvinus to try to win this game from here. And those Mohe are out there doing their best, trying to secure this emissary to go get the tributary state on this side. And they actually do come to pay off very quickly. They produce farms all around them, but it's actually, you get the vast majority of the food income from just the first 2 or 3 farms. So it doesn't take long before they start paying off once those villages come out. Which is really nice. And it gives you a pretty decent boost to your food economy. They also are affected by upgrades, but it doesn't really matter. The biggest thing from an economic point of view is this from Jin, is they get sort of an extra, very, very cheap, but an extra sort of wheelbarrow / double broadaxe upgrade, as well as double broadaxe, which means their wood eco goes crazy if you have mounted villages on it in particular, which is a nice to have. Do we have the monastery coming out yet? No. Not really prioritizing that, but I think, honestly, and this might be the case of what Corvinus is thinking, Imp is the target. We've got a lot of food in the bank, which is nice. It's just securing a gold, which Dragon Pavilion allows you to do, at least for the short term, before he's able to get pushed in. The army turns itself down here to the docks, but I mean, Beasty has a second dock, so just getting rid of one isn't quite enough to meet Corvinus's desires, and the ram is going to be picked off. I mean, it's not a huge investment from Corvinus. Well, unless he doesn't use this for anything else, which might actually be the case. But not able to get the damage done. This emissary, he did sneak it away, so when he has the presence of mind, Corvinus is going to be able to get that second trade post up. Another villager coming across, presumably to make more docks. But there's a lot of sort of map denial here. And yeah, we still don't even see a monastery either, which looks like, I mean, it looks like on purpose to me. It is just going to be, yeah, straight into that Imperial Age. And these Mohe tribesmen are to try to help him get there. Even if he gets it, I'm not really sure if he can do much with it. The Zanma swordsmen, obviously you don't need to upgrade them because they are unlocked in Imperial Age. They come out with Imperial Age upgrades, but they don't do too great into huge masses of units, right? It's kind of like running men-at-arms out of a Burgrave and when your opponent's got a million well, Chuganu ready to go. It doesn't quite work the same, which feels like what's going to happen here. But they will do a lot better than anything else Corvinus kind of has up his sleeve. And it is going to be those Zanma as we see the barracks all coming down. The defenders get called, but the biggest counter to the Dragon Pavilion and these defenders is unfortunately Spearmen. And Beasty has a lot of Spearmen Chuganu, which just absolutely eats up everything that Corvinus has for now. And the Great Wall Bastion is going up. Where is he building it? Oh no. It might go up here. There's a lot of these mountain villages. But a lot of dying, and actually it might not go up. It's so close. 3, 4 villages on it. 2 villages, 1 villager. Last villager doesn't go up. GG. Oh no. 4th. I mean, okay. I think the game was done anyway. That's never how you want to lose it. Well, actually, maybe that is okay to lose it like that as Corvinus, as you'd be like, well, actually, I would have fucking had you if my Great Wall Bastion went up. GG, lucky, go next. I mean, I think quite a cool gambit from Corvinus early. I quite like the barracks follow-up to early Doc in the Dark Age. Obviously didn't quite pay off in this game. But Beasty responded really well. Like, I think a lot of credit has to go to the guy. He plays so well on water with those sort of like Dark Age shenanigan moments and reacting appropriately to always come out ahead. Makes it really hard to cheese or to try stuff against him. And I think that was sort of the clash of styles there, where Beastie showed how solid he was, or he is. And unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't work out for Corvus in this one. It is going to be 2-1. And unfortunately, even worse than that is that poor old Jin lose. And Jushi win. So it is 2-1. 2-1 here for Beastie. I mean, Corvinus has done well to get one on the board, but I mean, I believe in him. I believe in him to go get another, to be honest with you. Let's go see if they've jumped straight in. They have jumped... Nope, that's the last game. Let's give us a refresh. They have jumped straight in, and it is going to be Dry Arabia. And we're going to see Corvinus on their Ubid and Beastie on the Sengoku Daimyo. So as we wait for that one... So what else do we have left? Chinese, which I'm assuming China is getting sniped out, and I assume Macedonian's getting sniped out here as well. Which does honestly leave for quite an interesting game 5, which is going to be... This is the map draft. Lakeside, if we get there. Lakeside is going to be our last map if we get there. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Sengoku is a very interesting pick at the moment because of the nerfs. It really does, and actually a Ubid the same, right? Like, I think we've got 4 minutes to wait on the observer delay, by the way. Yeah, with both getting nerfed, with the Ubids, the Manjanique I think made a huge difference. It's still good, but it's definitely not the like insta win button it used to be. And Sengoku has been one that a lot of people put a lot of faith in for Homestead when it got nerfed, because that was when the sort of like hotfix patch, the patch after the patch came out, which really nerfed Yatai quite a lot, and the Mounted Samurai as well. Which doesn't seem to be, they don't seem to be quite as one-dimensional anymore, Sengoku, with just that Mounted Samurai spam, especially going into the late game. But some players are still valuing the Civ very, very highly. And while I don't think it's in the same place it was before, both as a Civ and as a priority pick, it still is, I think, one to look out for. And I'm interested to see as we go through this tournament what its win rate ends up being, because I won't be surprised if it's still very good. But if people have kind of figured it out, I wouldn't be too surprised either. Which is good. That's kind of a good place where you want a civilization to be. I think more troublesome is going to be if these bans sort of persist. Because Byzantine and Mali, or Ottoman for sure, and Byzantine and Mali are all really strong now, and have got, Mali and Byzantine got a lot of help. Ottoman just haven't been hit with the nerf stick as hard as they need to. In this case, I think the only reason that Corvinus banned China away from Beastie rather than Ottoman is because Beastie famously is not a huge Ottoman enjoyer. But I mean, he still first picked it. He still played it in the first game and won with it. Essentially, first picked it. The only reason it's picked last here is because it was banned for Corvinus, so there was no reason to pick it earlier. Same with Chinese on the other side, just the way that the drafting system works. So, an interesting one. Going into the last game, you're going to have potentially Chinese Tuklak or French. Tuklak with the nerf as well. I don't know how good they are on water anymore, as their fishing boats don't get the elephant, like the extra worker drop-off thing. All their workers have or had. Now those fishing ships don't, which is a quite a significant nerf. But how much so, I guess we will wait and see. And in Macedonian, and Mongols. I guess Delhi won't be played on Lakeside, the water map. Is interesting because both strong, but Mongols still get styled on a little bit or memed on a little bit at Homestead Cup, but it came out with such a huge win rate. So riddle me that one, you know. I don't know if it was the case that pros got it wrong then, and now that people are seeing it for the strength it deserves or has, or whether it's still the case that it was just the best of a bad situation, and maybe that's where it's felt for Beasty as well. So it could, but that's looking down the road for game 5. We still are worried about game 4. And now with Beasty on the left, I'm going to assume this is the right score. I'm going to get absolutely pinged for this at 1 point. But assuming Beasty spawns on the left, it is 2-1 to Beasty in this best of 5. 30 seconds till we go in. On Dry Arabia, Corvinus, I don't know the last time Corvinus, actually I don't know if Corvinus has ever won a set against Beasty, to be honest with you. He may have, and I might not just know, but it feels like a real bogey for him. In a lot of the recent tournaments or qualifiers for tournaments, it just has not gone Corvinus's way. But I mean, he's always able to pick up these maps. And now we jump in and we'll see if he is able to pick up this one, as we are going to actually have a little bit of reverse. So I'll fix that up on the thing. Excuse me, I got absolutely done dirty. Shows what I know. And now we're into it. Alrighty, game 4 in the top side. Sporting in the magenta as the Ubids, we have Corvinus 1. And hopefully not for the last time, as I would like to see a game 5. But in game 4 we go, spawning in the bottom side of the map in the color yellow on the Sengoku Daimyo. It is Beasty. Alright, getting straight into it. Now, a big question for Sengoku players is, where do you put your Matsuri? Do you put it on gold or do you put it on woodline? A lot of players will have different preferences. Most saying gold is probably better, but sometimes wood feels better. Doesn't fucking matter. Beasty got his Marine Lord spawn. Although I guess it is in the front, but I think as a Sengoku player, you'd take this any day of the week, getting both the wood and the gold and the berries. Wow, just a stone sitting out here in Narnia. That's insane, to be honest with you. And you can wall up this woodline as well, which makes things pretty safe. You just have to worry about this angle. That's crazy. In fact, even if he goes for this hunt, he's got good walls the whole way around. That's kind of wild. What the fuck? And he's got 2 golds tucked away in the back. And another berry patch. What is this? Corvinus' spawn has his berries at front. And he gets this shit where your gold is like so far away. Is this the same distance? This thing, that's probably like tile and a half. Yeah, it's tile. Okay, it's the same distance away. But it's just directly towards the opponent's base. Yowza. Okay. Corvinus has this, bro. He's got this. Oh. Asking for... Oh, you need some mods? I mean, even the mods that I do have aren't like... I gave them mods so they have a green tick and they can ban spammers. Not so... not that they could have a job to do, you know? I don't want anyone to have a job to do. But I think things are small enough that that we don't need any real moderation. Maybe I should have a command with score and shit, but it's on the screen, brother. We'll make do. I'll do my best to update it correctly. Hi, Celtic. I'm gonna decide whether it's Celtic or Celtic based on a whim, by the way, since you said you don't mind. All right, we've got military wing. Okay, so getting straight into it. With this sort of being somewhat in the front, I guess it does sort of pave the way for wanting to have a bit of aggression as well. And I think for Corvinus' sake as well against Yatai and the like, shutting down that eco is really important. Whether you want to go fast castle or not as a Ubid. So we'll see if it's more I see him asking everywhere. I mean, the man is a full-time chatter, which I have a lot of respect for, don't get me wrong. But so I understand. You want your experience to be up to scratch. And that's not something I offer. And Ryokan on the other side. I mean, I've always been a pretty big Ryokan believer. It got a little bit nerfed, right? The healing rate got slightly nerfed recently, but still strong nonetheless. And in this case, I'm going to say actually the outpost coming out. So it may just be, yep, it looks like it is. As the Woodvilles get pulled as well, it is just going to be the military wing to hopefully secure up that castle age timing for Corvinus, while he can hopefully deny, or for him hopefully, deny a little bit on the other side with those Desert Raiders against the Yatai, in case Beasty looks to do the same. But it doesn't look like Beasty's going to do the same, as there are 10 of these bad boy villages on the wood. Just a little bit of damage coming in on the tower, but that's about it. No real commitments into anything. Military wing comes in, and we are away rolling. Obviously a much slower age up coming through for Beasty, but he's got those 3 Yatai out already in the Dark Age, so really opting for as much as he can. Also villages, Corvinus, but he's not going to be able to do any real damage to that scout. And the real damage from the scout is not this fire damage on the tower, it is the information. Whereas Beasty knows 100% that this is going to be a military wing fast castle. And as such, what is the response? I mean, I guess we'll see once we hit the feudal age, but no tower coming through right away. Which I guess this means he's going to go straight into production. Archery range is the first production building of choice. And I can't help feel that this is not a great spawn for a poor old Corvinus trying to go up to Castle Age. We'll see how quickly things come across. The 4th Yatai coming out now. These villages going back across to sheep, as the Takezaiku is only coming in. Level 2, which will give the sort of, it's a wheelbarrow plus berry gather rate combination upgrade. And it's just going to be the Yumi coming across. So I wonder how much of a commitment we're going to see here from Beasty. Still kept 8 on wood. And yeah, okay, it's just going to be, okay, you're naked fast castling. I tower your gold. And this is something which isn't always possible because of the spawns. If your gold's tucked in all the way in the back, it's really hard to come across to tower it. And if you, as a Ubid, were to double tower yourself, then it would be very hard to come in and tower it. But in this case, it is just the Desert Raiders that Beasty has to worry about. He knows that he got all the information. There's really not too much to scout here, and Beasty saw all of it, which means that on this little angle, 1 tower is all you need. 2 villages to make sure it goes up, and there's not going to be a pull the other way. Well, the Desert Raider does come through and almost gets the Yatai. We see the reduced repair rate coming in to make a big difference. But honestly, even if this Yatai goes down, I mean, denying the trader would be big, but otherwise it's not that big of a deal. 1 villager goes down, which is a nice little win there for Corvinus. These Yumi, without any upgrades and without abandonment, they don't do very much even to the Desert Raiders. And we see the pull. We see the pull from Corvinus. These villagers are going to come across, and he really does need to push this back. Actually, this Desert Raider doing a great job. Oh, bitey infantry not helping out at all. And 1 does go down. The villagers are going to full commit. The Desert Raider now does go down. And, oh, the villager does have to pull away. This wolf is actually doing so much more than you would ever expect it to do. But it doesn't finish it off. Corvinus sees the extra units, or the archers there, a bit worried with having no Desert Raider to help. But that last Desert Raider, which was almost gone to the grave, does come out and is able to come across. Now, Corvinus deciding to make... So he had to pull a bunch to wood. Although he already got his age up, so it doesn't matter. Although not ideal when you're going industry wing to pull that many to wood. And he is going to lose just 1 so far. He will lose at least a 2nd. Oh, not quite enough to 2-shot. That's huge. And Beasty misclicks as well. Oh, Corvinus doesn't get it in the tower anyway. But it does go down, and the tower doesn't go up, which is huge. It is worth losing 2 villages over for Corvinus to secure that up. And with industry wing just 25 seconds away, he's going to have that big pump in eco, which means, especially if he does sell, we don't have a market yet, but if he does sell that stone as well, it's going to be enough for Corvinus to be able to contest with Desert Raider and Camel Lancer if he decides, which is fucking huge. Functional Boomer, thanks for subscribing, dude. That's really kind, man. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that, man. I appreciate you hanging out a bit as well, man. That's really cool. I just said man like 6 times, but I really do appreciate it. It's really, really generous. Oh, another one goes down. Got me distracted. I'm such a terrible caster. Corvinus does get, no, does get the scout down, but it doesn't matter. No, he pulls across in the village getting shot. Beasty not quite targeting. Yep, he does. Okay, he does. I take it all back. Target firing the weak ones, but they do go down, and another couple go down and have to pull away. Yikes. Those villagers getting across now. Aeroslus comes in, which will help secure, but is Beasty not, I mean, is Corvinus not willing to cancel this and go again? It was quite a greedy second town center, especially when you've got this in the back. Maybe thinking it's they're you know, about as dangerous as each other, or maybe sort of tower hopping was going to be enough to secure him up. But now we have these Yumi just camping this TC, really. Well, they don't do a lot of damage to TCs. They do at least double damage because it is not finished. And actually, I mean, it's not the end of the world here. And with Desert Raiders being the only things on the table right now for Corvinus, he doesn't have a way of breaking it. But we see the first of the Camel Lances coming out. 2 in queue, but unfortunately, they are out of the same stables. Moss goes up and first Dervish comes out as well, which means that is going to be the relics slowly starting to come in. But just as we speak, it is the Sake Brewery that finishes for Beasty. He's got that wall up, like I said, right at the start, which is just such a nice position to be in on the spawn. And all the production is coming in. Actually, we're going for the Hojo. So this is the infantry daimyo. This one Camel Lancer skiing through there is going to be able to push all of these guys away. Although Beasty's going to look to see if he can get one villager in reply. Nah, not really. They are going to go down in the end. Unless. Good pullback from Corvinus, and yeah, that's going to get in there. And the TC is going to complete. Goodbye, Yumi Ashigaru, but they did a great job. Speaking of great jobs, Hojo Clan Estate. I haven't seen this for a while, to be honest with you. This is the infantry one, and we see the upgrades here. So the first one is the extra spearman move speed and damage to workers. Pretty cool, but you know, not really breaking down boundaries there. But the second one is kind of the coolest one, and I really, really hope we see it. I don't know if it's going to be the case, but please show me, sir. It is the Samurai Bow, which is the extra archer shot that the Samurai get. And no, it doesn't work like fucking Storm Lances for Jin Dynasty, where it misses all the time. That archer shot actually does hit like other upgrades of its kind, or abilities of its kind, like the Donzo throw. Ooh, Corvinus getting onto this quite quickly. Man, these Yatai, they're so much squishier now. It really does change so much after like 3 rounds of nerfs, huh? And it does go down there now. So it's only 3 Yatai left standing on the map. 1 is down here on berries, not quite getting full. We got, why is it so big? 8 berry bushes, 26 per minute. That kind of sucks. And this one is sitting, ooh, with these berries and the sheep down. It's doing nothing with 20. This is the only one left going with 40, or was 40. And actually picking up the first villager kill there as well? Or was that from earlier? Who knows? No, it was from earlier. Yeah, it doesn't quite pick up the kill. But quite nice there from Corvinus. We are getting the Tanigashima Ashigaru, the gun crossbows, which are really, really cool. Check relics. Thank you very much. I can't believe I haven't done that yet. We've got 2 in for Corvinus. Or second one coming in for Corvinus. That's that one there. But we haven't got these other 2 coming in, but the map control is in Corvinus' hands. This one is out here, and is going to get the 3rd one in, and then the 4th and 5th are down here on the map. And honestly, if I think it might just end up being a 4-1, to be honest, which is a nice little change. We'll keep an eye on that one as we go. But yeah, as we see those guns coming across, they're not like, I feel like you prefer crossbows. They feel like they kind of suck. In late Imperial, well, in Imperial with upgrades, I should say, they feel pretty strong. I don't really know the stats or why. Just this is more the eye test than anything. But they feel quite strong. But in Castle Age, they just feel like worse crossbows. Is their range worse or something? I don't really know why they suck. 4.5? Is that 1 less? Or half less than crossbow? Who knows? Not me, at least. Bags coming in as well for Corvinus. And if we can get to that mass of units for Corv with 2 TC, and you know, potentially being able to get into manganites and the like, this could be a pretty good position for him to be in. But at the minute, like, it is a bit scary when you get a decent army, particularly with these the Hojo Daimyo coming out across as well. Do we have anything else of interest there? No other Daimyo with Beasty yet. But he is looking to come across the map and look at the second TC. I saw, yep, Siege Engineering coming in as well. So he is thinking about it. This dervish is unfortunately going to get away. I say unfortunately because I hate I hate mounted religious units. There's no bias for Corvinus or for Beasty. I just hate any of these things that fucking run fast. The same with the Rus ones, the warrior monks. Anyway, the ram is coming through, and it's just Spearman Tanegashima army in the front. They sound sick though, dude. They do sound really sick. Camelites are trying to come in for a raid. Not too sure how much he's going to have, how much luck he's going to have, but maybe I'm wrong. It does take 3 hits though. I mean, if he gets this but loses the Lancer, it's not worth it. If he gets it but loses the Lancer, it's not worth it. He didn't get it. If he loses the Lancer, it's not worth it. Okay, it wasn't worth it, but it's still a minor thing. 2 ramps, the better units. What do we have out of Corvinus? We've got a bunch of Desert Raiders still and Gulams. Gulam Desert Raider is the call. We're pulling the relics. We heard that sound. Didn't even get the 4th relic, by the way. That is going to go over the Beastie. So it's going to be a 3-2 split, actually, to Beastie, or in favor of Corvinus. The village is coming out to pick up the ram straight away. Good 2 throws of the torches there before coming in. And then hop into that town center. Now we see, yeah, we don't have any blacksmith upgrades, by the way. And pop both relics at the same time to stop the melee coming into the Desert Raiders, but there's not really much rush of these spearmen either. So the delay wasn't really significant. The villagers do come out to repair up the TC now. The Desert Raiders at least are largely untouched as the Tanegashima are onto the Gulams instead, but now it's free reign onto the Desert Raiders. But they attack so slow. These crossbows are really not that strong. Oh, they do get it. That was so close. The 3rd ram really coming in clutch, getting the TC down, which does mean that Beastie, I mean, if he wants to go home with this, he's actually not in a bad position, gets one of the dervishes, which is nice. And the reinforcements now are going to be not too far away as these Tanegashima keep coming forward to try to do as much as they can. The battering rams doing a little bit of a dance trying to get through to that tower and aren't able to succeed, but pulls a lot of the villagers forward. 15 villager kills now for Beastie amongst all this, which has him actually in a villager lead against what was a very short-lived TC, all things considered. And these Tanegashima are doing a really good job against the Gulams, and honestly, the Desert Raiders are not doing the greatest job against anything else in reply. But now they do get that little bit of freedom as the units hop into the rams to try to get home. I don't think there were really any, I can't see unfortunately, any spearmen in there. Was it just the Tanegashima? It is Tanegashima, which do actually pretty good amount of damage, right, against these cavalry. It is just, yeah, plus the heavy, so they're not doing extra damage against the Desert Raiders, but I guess just with like no ranged armor and only 145 health, they go down pretty quickly and they are expensive units. Even obviously some are coming out for free from the military wing, but this was feudal age military wing, so it's not very many. We're going to see reinforcements come in now, which is going to, whoops, it's just going to be 1, and then it takes another 2 minutes to get another 1. So basically, pretty useless. Checking back in on the daimyos, we've got 1 of each, so we've got the archer one as well, which does give us, hello, where is it? Hello? 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 Where's the archer daimyo? Here. Which does give us, no, we don't even have it. That's the Yume Shigaru one. And then this one will give us the standing shield, but we don't have that yet because we only have 1 of them. Beastie getting in another 2 kills, another 3 villager kills from last I checked at least. 18-1. Really sitting pretty in the villager count now. Springalds are going to be the reply from Corvinus. Springald, Gulam, and then of course some Desert Raiders against Tanegashima plus Samurai. Okay. Okay. Well, Beastie's even out on the map on these is he? What's he up? Oh, he's just denying us up here, and he's got the Yatai. The 3 rams, they all survive. They come back through, and these are upgraded towers, or at least with arrow slits upgraded, coming through. Was that a relic pickup of... Where was that relic pickup? Was that pulling it out of the thing? It was pulling it out of the thing. So he did pick them up. He did get his 3 back, Corvinus, and he's going to look to try to contest again. This one doing a little bit more, having a little bit more value than previous. You, of course, you can't, unfortunately, convert rams, but they are still getting some damage done there. And these Tanegashima are doing quite a lot. You see how much damage they do even against the Springalds. And this infantry count of Beasties is not going down, and now he's on the wood line, which Corvinus is a big problem when it comes to economy with the villagers, and these Desert Raiders are not doing a hell of a lot now against this army of beasties. The samurai being even in the mix of the spearmen makes it a lot harder for Corvinus to try to deal with. And with all these Tanegashima, just the raw DPS output of them, honestly, is doing a pretty good job. And it's only 15 plus sitting at TV. It's just having a lot of them, to be honest. I think if they were crossbows, it'd be even more dangerous for Corvinus. But it's a 40-10 military lead. Equal villager counts. And we're going back in on the Rams, as I think, does Beasty see this? He hasn't quite seen it yet. Surely he's going to, but he doesn't. That second TC is just sitting there. So all the sacred sites does Beasty. That ticker is counting. Now I've got another ram in there, just looking to do as much damage as he can. At the back there, but doesn't quite see anything. There are berries at the back, but it's not quite. Oh! He sees it. Beasty sees it as he walks around. And this is, yep, all the rams do finally turn, and it's going to be onto that second TC. Well, third TC. Second TC that Corvinus currently has. And Beasty, I'm so sorry, Corvinus, but Beasty has already claimed this hunt. You are not going to have much success here. And he even had the mill overlapping the house, so they're just going to stand there doing nothing. Spearman raid? Has he got the upgrade? No, he doesn't have the upgrade. But otherwise, they would be walking faster. Actually, 1.3, maybe he does have the upgrade. Yeah, he does. Okay. To move faster and do more damage to workers. So those spearmen... Huh? Spearman raids? Anybody? On the menu? But these... let's keep an eye on this army for when they fight, because these samurai do have that Yumi upgrade. They are firing their bows before they jump in. And here we go. Picking off of villagers just like that before they run in. So we've got samurai with naginata and bows. And then we have crossbowmen with guns. It's a pretty scary army to run into, and it's a lot cooler of an army than blimmin' mounted samurai spam. So I'm happy to see it coming through here. This looks like a lot of units for Corvinus, but it's a lot of villages. And dude, these guys sound so cool when they attack, by the way. There's just the mangonel. That's why the villages are there from Corvinus. It's just to repair the mangonel. But honestly, mangonel or no, with all of these units split up, these guys, it's only, yeah, the mangonel attack, or Manjanique, I should say, is only attacking 2 of the Tanegashima, which means the villagers actually turn to fighting. The reinforcements come through on the other side, and GG is finally called. 3-1. Beasty does it. He's done it again. Corvinus, maybe a little bit of a block, maybe a little bit of a skill difference. Who knows? I thought Corvinus did a great job in the series, but unfortunately, Beasty was too clean, too clinical, and is able to bring it out 3-1 in the set. GG's all rounds, but very well played by the Beast. He's looks very much in form on this series. I know Homestead Cup was obviously a very difficult time for him from a practice and preparation perspective, having to deal with everything in your own home. Now he's able to play online from the comfort of his room, which is his room, and not the not the player area. So that's obviously nice to have, and maybe that's the big difference, because he wasn't even thinking about playing in this tournament at all. Yeah, look at the resources, man. Pretty crazy stuff still. I mean, you often do see a U-bit sort of fall behind there, resource-wise, of course, but Sengoku still pulling out all the stops. And I think, I mean, the spawns were definitely in his favor, but I thought Beasty played that very well to be able to take it out. 3-2-1. GG's. GG's. All right. What's next? 3-1 Beasty. So if we can have a look at... I want to look at the brackets, but I don't want to put spoilers up. So bear with me on this. Bam, 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 bam. All right. So the remaining round ones are B. Louis, which I think is on mainstream. Am I right? Yes, B. Louis. And then... what's the other one? Kiljadi Gully Deckle. Is that still going? That would be sick. Hang on. Kiljadi's game. And they're on Gorge. Which means, what map is this? You have to bear with me, guys, because I'm so slow and shit at this part. Okay. Gully. And... Kiljadi. Gorge is game 4. And it's 2-1 to Kiljadi. Alright, let's go in. Let's go in. Let's have a look. Hi, Calf. How you doing, brother? I don't know how to spell Gully Deckel's name as he wants me to, oh no, I can copy paste it. Maybe I do need a moderator, huh? Let's go up to live. I didn't see what time it was at, but... and while we're going live, bear with as I'm going to change the scores. Because it's 2-1 to... Actually, is the scores correct? Just my chance? Yeah, it's 2-1 to Kiljadi. The scores are right. Alright, Eversid vs French. Interesting, interesting. Economic wing. School of Cavalry, no way. What the fuck was this? Just for the... Oh, yeah, just for a thing. Right. Just with the gold villager. Not actually wanting to go out on the deer. Interesting. 2 TC from Eversid. Just 2 though. Ooh. It's a kill, Vil kill there for Kiljadi. Doing well on vacations. How are you? Dude, I'm doing well, man. I'm really hyped up. I'm excited for Age of Empires. I'm excited for some other things in my life. It's just a good time to be alive, you know? I'm also going out this evening to go watch... I live in England, right? But England are playing against New Zealand, which is where I'm from, in a World Cup friendly warm-up game tonight at like 9 PM my time. So Grace and I are going out to the pub to watch that, which is going to be really fun. We're going to get smashed, but it's kind of cool to watch New Zealand play against England in England. Well, from England, not they're playing in America. But I have no idea what's going on. I'm not even going to pretend to follow this. Kiljadi's making knights, believe it or not. And some archers. I mean, Gully, sorry. Kiljadi's the Eversid player. Going into archers later in feudal, by the way, or even into castle, is something I've seen a little bit more out of French players, which is interesting. Because I always thought that was bad to do, but it's been a lot more common. 13 worker kills to 6. Oh, if that was able to trap, that would have been huge. But I mean, that was just one villager getting a lot of the wall, so not really that much. Now it's a huge army from Kiljadi. Is Gully able to stop this? He went in. Red Palace down here. What the fuck? Gully, you crazy, bro. I don't know if Kiljadi can actually do enough damage. I don't know if he can just win it outright. And especially with like the Arbalest upgrade, even on just the TC, it makes it really tough to break. And now Gully's pushing him back? Bro, 18 kills now. I mean, it's 2 TC, so... Bro, there's too many horn noises. I don't know what's going on. Kiljadi, this is a huge push. Maybe Gully overextended a little bit there with the army. Yeah, a handful of archers and knight. I think this is it. I think we're not even going to get to live, guys. I think it's going to be all over. It's really tough to break a Red Palace, though. And a Red Palace next to a TC means extra arbs. Oh, killing the relics. That's pretty big, actually. Oh, my days. Gully has everything down here. I mean, it makes sense. Oh, he has to get bloodlines as well. No relic income makes a big difference, though, but there's so much gold in Gully's bank. Did he get anything out? Was that the guild hall? No, this is the guild hall. He's just switched it to gold, so we got a bunch of food at some point. But now he's got nothing. He's making arbs. Running through with knights, that's something. He's doing a good job to stay in. Don't lose everything. Don't lose everything, Gully. So many units for Eversid, though. And he did get his Imperial Age shot, which makes it really tough. And Cindy are actually almost in for Kiljadi as well. Which, with composite bows... Oh, he doesn't even have that. He's just got crossbows, which, to be fair, does a great job as well. It's so hard to kill French once they get that shit up, man. Is he going to go for the Sacred Site win? No, he hasn't even got that one up yet either. It's a lot of stuff that died there. Ooh, big fight down the guts. Those archers were just standing there as well. I mean, it looks like Kiljadi can kind of take it slow and do what he wants. Crossbow against Arbs is definitely Arb favored. The Horseman, I mean, Horseman Arb is not a bad composition for a French player to play, to be honest. And it's going to be Horseman Spearman from Kiljadi. Is this fight going to go well for Kiljadi? Is it just raw mass? That's crazy. It is just raw mass. And he is over there. What, bro? How long is this game, by the way? What the fuck? Typical British activity? Oh, going to the pub? Yeah, absolutely, dude. Pub culture in the UK is like my favorite thing. It's just like, it's really social and friendly. It's just like, and it's very like welcoming. It's I love it. Especially as someone in a country that you don't know anybody. Or you don't know many people, I should say. It's a great way to just have, like, you know, not feel lonely or, like, on the outside. The smile, actually, Gully's honestly doing a pretty good job here holding on. Bro, dude, I can't believe this game was still gone. I thought it was going to be all over. But I guess it is really tough to break through a French player. Now it gets all sacred sites. Probably wanted it a bit earlier, but obviously there's a lot going on in this game. And, okay, I just time out. We never see it! We never see live. GG, Kiljadi wins 3-1, which means that set is over as well. Well played, I think. Don Con, how you doing, brother? How you doing? Thanks for following, man. Welcome, welcome. Did Corv FF? He lost 3-1. He didn't, like, forfeit the series, if that's what you mean. I thought he played well, but Beasty was very clinical. Oh, I missed game one? Yeah, game one was Boldland. Ottoman. Oh, you thought oh, yeah. Dude, imagine that was game one though. And Corvinus coming out with the Burgrave HRE against Golden Horde on Gorge, which I can't believe. In my head, that's still an amazing Golden Horde matchup, you know. But credit where it's due, man. Corvinus did well to get that game, but I thought BC was playing pretty good. It's funny because BC not complained, but he was cognizant of getting cheesed by B's Burgrave on when he played OOTD against B's HRE on Holy Island in Homestead. He kind of just chalked it up, like, I got cheesed by it, and then kind of Corvinus gets him again. But it didn't really feel like a cheese to me. It felt like a pretty smart move from all Corvinus won there. He did well. Amazing cast in Homestead Cup, by the way. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys next year. Oh, awesome, man. Yeah. Thanks so much for your admin work, dude. It must kind of be tough to like be so involved with the production, but you're not somebody that gets to be there and be part of the I was gonna say party. It's not necessarily a party atmosphere, but you know, the social aspect of being around where everybody is. But that'd be dope, yeah, if you do make it out for whatever the next thing is. Are you doing work with all of Age of RTS stuff? Like all of Mareka stuff? Or was Homestead like a one-off? Or well, presumably not a one-off if you're doing stuff next year. I'm gonna have a look at the next games, by the way. The schedule and shit. Alright, so up next... That is so small. I hate that so much. But... is what it is. These ones, the 4 PM games, which is in 8 minutes. So we'll take a bit of a break before we jump into it, which is going to help me get a... take a bit of a water break as well. Marine Lord Gully, Lucifron, Numudan, Puppy, Louis. And the main stream is doing Vortex Demo. I mean, Louis Puppy would be sick. I actually think Lucifron and Numudan would be really good too. Because I think Numudan's been doing really, really well. Control Plus to make it bigger? Bro, you're a genius. Look at that. Wait, that looks ugly. Look at that. My goat. My goat. Alright, I'll leave this up for a second. I'm going to be right back. I'll run ads to get rid of the pre-roll, but I'm just going to go talk to Grace and be right back. Yo, I like how to say emote. Okay, sorry guys, we're right. Okay. Oh, take it easy, Calf. You're probably gone by now. Always a pleasure, mate. Bam, 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 bam. Loud, sorry. That's open my window, but the stupid thing is like close my door. Like my door doesn't close properly. Wait, good. Enjoy your evening and good luck to England. How'd I just read that? We want New Zealand to win. New Zealand beats England in football tonight. 1, I don't know if I'll make it home alive. And 2, maybe I shouldn't wear a New Zealand top. And 2, I want England to win second only to New Zealand winning. It's close to patriotism, right? Okay. So, out of the 3 series we have going on, I think Marine Lord Gully is probably the most one-sided, but I'm very excited for Lucifron, Numudan, and Puppy Paw Louis, especially because we haven't seen Louis. Does anyone have a preference? I don't know if there are any chatters here, but does anyone have a preference between Lucifron, Numudan, and Puppy Louie? Bum, 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 bum. Let me go in game and see who's going to be first to play. Maybe that's the tell. Down, 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 down. No one's in yet. Both just as good? Cheers, Celtic. That helps me out. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I might flip a coin. Actually, I think I might do Lucifron Numudan. I'm gonna do Lucifron Numudan. Or should I see what other people are casting and then not cast the same thing? So people have something to watch. I thought that just after I said it. Bro, you're fine. I'm taking the piss. It's like when you say like, you know, what do you want for, what do you want to go for dinner? And then it's like, well, what do you want for dinner? And then the answer is, you know, I don't know. Alright, B Louie is still going on anyway. That's on EGC and Killer Pigeon. KP says up next Louie and Puppy. Okay, well let's do Lucifron Numudan. Fucking done. Easy peasy. Do either of them spell their name weird? Lucifron has a capital N, right? And Numudan is just straight up and down. Love it. Updated title? I'm killing it. I'm such a fucking streamer, dude. They said it couldn't be done. Alright, let me go look for drafts. Oh, they post them all the drafts at once. That's annoying. Okay, I can't look for drafts. Let me look for games then. Lucifron's game. Yes, they're in. Which means that... Oh. Nope, their game crashed. Or they cancelled. They remade. Well, they are playing. It looks like it was French Jeanne d'Arc. I don't have the draft yet though. Sorry, I can't show it yet. I am already drinking, by the way. I'm excited for this and for tonight. I'm excited for everything. Life's great. My posture is shit, though. Is that how I was? Is that how I was sitting? This looks fine. Brother. I need to incorporate some kind of posture check in my chat somehow. Maybe if I get rid of the pillow. Maybe the pillow is fucking me up. Let's try that. Maybe? Maybe this is better? Alright, Lucifron is now in. And it is... The map is Gorge. And the civs are Lucifron on French and Numudan on Jeanne d'Arc. We're going to have a delay, so we're not going to get in right away. But we are almost there. Bum, 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 bum. Hopium? Oh, for Homestead Cup 2? I thought you meant like Hopium to meet people next year. I was like, shit, dude. Of course you'll come. I think there'll be a Homestead Cup 2 next year. I don't say that because I have any insider information. I just think it was really fun. I think Mareka was okay with it. It's probably more if Beasty is okay opening up his house to everybody. I think Mareka would definitely organize it again. Plus, it should be easier the second time. Plus, you have, like, you've invested in all the stuff, right? All the equipment, you know what you're doing. And because you've done, like, the first one, you, like, have a really good idea of, like, how you can do it differently. Like, make it better the next time. I tell you what, I would never do it. We got 2.5 minutes, by the way, on delay. Actually, we can just go into it, right? Fuck it. There's absolutely no chance. Functional O word. Thanks for following, man. Sorry I said your name like that. What does that mean? Is it like O face? Anyway, regardless of what your name is, thank you very much for following, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Jardino. Yeah, I think, like, even before going to Homestead, I don't think I ever would have had something, like, ever hosted that many people for that long in my house. Even the idea of having all those people there for one evening feels like a lot. For, like, basically 10 days, or like a week for the tournament, but there's also days either side which people are still there. And there were people there for, like, better part of, like, a week afterwards, I think, still doing, like, all of the post-admin-y stuff. Like, way fewer people, but it's still not like Beasty gets his whole house back or anything. Like, I think that's real. It's really tough. I would never be able to do that. I would lose my mind. It's really fun to go to, but just to have at your house is crazy. But I'm glad they did. Hell of a lot of fun. And an awesome tournament too. Like a really, really cool tournament. But yeah. I would understand if Beastie's like, dude, I can't I can't do a second one, man. Fuck that shit. Like, money regardless. But I also don't think that was his reaction. I haven't heard that from him, but I don't think that was his reaction. I think it was tough, but I don't think it was like, oh my god, I'm never doing that again. Like, their house was like a good size to do it, their apartment. They had all the spaces they needed, but they didn't have extra. So, like, the setup was fantastic to make everything work, but there was no overflow space. There's no, like, oh, you can just go hang out here or decompress or anything. So if you think about every corner of your own home being taken up, like, what the fuck? Where's your go-to? You have to leave the house. And from, like, an introversion perspective, like, that's awful. The fuck? What do you do? Like, you go to your parents' house, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of. Anyway, Homestead Cup, that's in the past. We're into our second best of 5 for today, and a very exciting one, and a great matchup off the bat. To start with, we've got in the bottom left of Gorge, in the yellow, on the French, it is Lucifron. Lovely guy, by the way. Genuinely amazing guy. And in the top right, in red on Jean d'Arc, we have Numudan. Someone I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, but someone that I'm very excited to watch because he has had such a great run of things recently. A lot of it in practice, not like tournament showing, but kind of being not necessarily a dark horse, but someone that hasn't quite broke into that, you know, top 16, top 12 super comfortably, or had any like breakout performances, but someone that's been around a long time and has done a great job in the scene and in practice. Generally speaking, it's just a question whether he can turn it into tournament results. And I think he's got a good shot. But he's up against Lucifron, our runner-up in the last tournament, Homestead Cup. And in this case, I mean, Lucifron's coming in looking very good and must be very confident. And someone who I think has got his handle on the patch pretty well as well. I think Vortex and Lucifron going into Homestead Cup had a really good read on things. And I think their view in general is pretty on point. But sometimes, you know, they sort of favor, not to lump them together too much, but they favor a certain playstyle, or that's where their strength really lies in these aggressive sort of timing attack playstyles. And, well, French is one of those. And I think historically, French has had a really good matchup into JD, but the last few games I've seen of this matchup have actually gone JD's way. She's managed to get level 3 and managed to clutch out a win, not just losing in night count and then falling over, but actually making the use of that, usually ranged JD, to turn it into a win. But we see already, I have not spoken of it, but we've been looking at it a long time. The difference in openings, they're opening right off the bat for Lucifron and going for early wheelbarrow, where Numudan is going to opt for the stock standard JD start and go purely within the base and onto the School of Cavalry, which means it is going to be a much faster first night for JD, which is actually quite a big win, because oftentimes the first night timing can be a big deal in this matchup. If you can sort of force your opponent off gold for a little bit early on, you can reduce the night count, even though you're a bit later up yourself. But in this case, Survivor Techniques and Wheelbarrow for Lucifron does give him an eco advantage, and he's French, so you've got a natural eco advantage as well. So as long as Lucifron's not taking a lot of damage early, like if he doesn't lose any of these villages and can bring them back to the safety of under his TC with that faster wheelbarrow speed, he's actually going to be in a pretty okay spot. And it still does take quite a while to get out that first night, even with this is basically the fastest age up you can do with JD without sacrificing too much. So that's that makes for quite a big deal if Lucifron can get the most out of this dare pack and get home safely as his age up. Just going up with 4 as well, so even a slower build when you take into account JD's faster construction time, means it is going to be that little bit of a tempo advantage for Numudan, but an eco advantage for our French player with Lucifron. What is the medal in the back? What did you win? This medal is from my New Zealand football team back home, where I left to move to the UK mid-season, and they did a prize giving wrap up at the end of the season because they won the league, and they did individual medals for everybody. And they like FaceTimed me during the ceremony, which was like late night their time, early morning my time, which is very sweet. And then they showed me the medal, and then they sent the medal to me. And the medal says, it's got our team name, and then it says most missed, which I think is very sweet. So it got my heart, and I chucked it up on the wall. But I was very disappointed that they went on to win the league, because I thought I was carrying those fuckers. But it turns out that they were doing all right with it. They were doing all right without me, to be honest. I thought I was the only thing keeping that that back 4 alive, but turns out they did fine without me. Walls coming in to defend the knight, very, very nice. Especially having the berry bush there means you get protection on this side, and the TC protects this side, which is good. Most missed shots or penalties, maybe? I didn't take a penalty all season, actually. The one bloke that did, one bloke that did missed, and then the other bloke I think scored all of them. And I play center back, so I didn't shoot much, but I scored a lot from corners. Why a lot? I think I got like 2 or 3 goals from corners. So one thing center backs do, man, is as soon as there's a corner, they're like, yeah, everyone else, I'm not staying back, I'm not staying back. This is my one chance to shine. JD comes in, it's going to be the ranged. I think it's better. I see some players go melee, but I think she just gets stuck a little bit in the fights, whereas ranged means that you can pick off those low knights. So in Knight v Knight, the ranged works a lot better, and then if you've got... if things get a little bit more chaotic than that, you know, spearmen and archers get in the mix, then sometimes the melee is better, but neither here nor there in this situation. And we see the difference of the starts, right? Definitely a big knight count advantage for Numudan. And, you know, 4 going on 5 against 2 going on 3. And it's going to be double stable into Blacksmith for Numudan, as he has to pull away now that Range JD comes to the 4, which is a very nice win for Numudan, honestly. Very, very big. And this tower going up is going to help secure things back home. But still just on 1 stable, actually. No Blacksmith and no extra knights. So that tower investment is actually quite big for Numudan. And an interesting choice considering he has the knight advantage. So definitely a lot of respect's being given to Lucifron there. But one that's honestly still working out because Lucifron is completely off gold. And these guys are going onto the deer again. The next gold for Lucifron is here. But with a lower knight count, there is no way for him to secure it. So at this stage, does Lucifron have to go into Spearman? Right now, he's not going into anything. He's going into market. So he's going to sell food for gold? That is definitely not the place you want to be. That is not a long-term solution. Numudan giving so much respect, though. Even though he's denied gold, he's giving so much respect to not go out and about. Oh my gosh. Frost Legend, thanks for following, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks for the support, guys. It is really, really nice. And hopefully this is a nice way to watch... thanks, man. Hopefully it's a nice way to watch some of the games as well, because there's so many going on. I thought it'd be a bit of a shame to not be able to watch watch them all. It's the Woman at Arms? No, it's the Hunter. Woman at Arms is the melee one. Oh, Frost Legend is the Woman at Arms. Excuse me. Excuse me, I take it back. Did I say thanks, man? I always do that by default. I apologize if I did that. Now, we still don't have anything on gold, but we are selling the food for... Ooh. Well, selling wood, I guess, is actually the call for the gold. And now, yeah, Lucifron is going to try to sneak as much as he can. The knight count is still in favor of Numudan, and it really should be from here on out. There's no way for Numudan to get chivalry with this as well. Ooh, gotta be careful not to overextend. Does get the charge in back though, which is good. Clicking on the this knight in the back means you do get that melee charge still. I did say thanks, man. Fuck me, dude. You know, I keep telling myself not to do that on Twitch as well, especially because I met so many women in the Age of Empires 4 community. But you know, I'm still that terrible default. My partner Grace would crucify me for that shit too. She hates using like male, what was it? I guess pronouns or language as a default. She'd be disappointed. She would be disappointed in me. Come on, man, get it together. That time, man being me. Now, Lucifron's knight count is still gonna struggle. There's no way for. I mean, even trying to sneak it, but like more importantly is like, oh, that's the total sheep. Lucifron, this is looking at him, right? He's only got 6 sheep left under here. He's going to have to go on the berries, which are going to be in range of JD. There's 5 on dare is not going to be enough to cut it. Numudan is out on these dare, and then he's got the second dare pack next on, which is fantastic. Who cares if the boar's on the other side? That is going to be easy pickings. And of course, he's got the berries there ready for him if he needs. Deleting actually the walls to try to get more coverage, but that's not actually going to make that much of a difference. And then the 2 shots and an arrow is a kill. 2 shots and an arrow is a kill. 1, 2, arrow. No, not quite, but it's getting a little bit of buttering up on those villagers to give a chance. And every villager you do kill makes a big difference. Obviously, Jeanne d'Arc doesn't have the extra villager training speed, but the thing about villager training speed is it means it takes more food. And there's a lot of idle villagers under that TC. Numudan doing a great job. And no rush at all. Just denying ever so slowly. Knowing that if you're not on this gold, you're not on any gold. Presumably is going to keep an eye on these outside resources. But if Lucifron goes out to those and gets seen, it's GG right then and there. Does have... Oh, we do see the fight going, but there are not enough knights here. But JD might go down early. Does get the heal off. They're actually pulling the villagers, Lucifron. So it's a very much an all-in defense. Getting a kill with the ranged arrow, but JD is going to go down here, getting body blocks. Not the greatest micro there for Numudan to lose her so easily, and actually down a knight as all is said is done. Down 2 knights now, even though he had the advantage going to the fight. Not taking good angle, JD not doing a job, and then trying to micro JD out actually meant that you were taking so much more damage unnecessarily because you didn't quite have the DPS from standing and fighting because you're trying to micro JD out and unsuccessfully so. So many low HP knights there, and actually the same for Numudan. Chivalry coming in for Lucifron now. You see the +1 attack damage is in there, but that shouldn't really make a difference at all. 2 stable now, barracks coming in, but if Lucifron can get these towers up, actually he's pulling them to fight. Thinking as long as my knights aren't dying, my knight count stays fine, then I am going to be okay. But chivalry is coming in at the worst time. all of the knights die. It turns out chivalry is actually not the right call. Just needed to have more knights coming in or not take the fight at all. And Numudan just, it's not about the knight count, it's about the total health on the knights. Is able to hold on, get away with these low knights. And JD spending the money, and you heard that sound. You heard that sound. Come on, man. It's supposed to be dramatic if you level her up when I... Come on, man. Level her up. There! She's level 3! Going for the riders. I mean, there's no spearmen in the game. It makes sense. These two knights on the other side do manage to get 2 eco kills there. I think that must have been very recent, unless I completely missed that earlier. We don't have chivalry in yet, but it's coming. And I'm a little bit surprised to see Numudan going for the spearman when he's got the knight count advantage. And the level 3. I would have thought you could just double down on 2, 3 stable and just go kill the guy. And this game should be all over soon enough. But maybe I'm wrong. And maybe Numudan's got a much better read than me. I think the spearmen are just for home, right? He's just worried about counter raids. Yeah, that must be the case. Still, it's quite an investment though, where you could turn those resources into like a couple more knights, which could be the, you know, the way to seal the game. But I guess not wanting to potentially throw, and especially because he's not opted for a blacksmith, or he's getting it now. Not having +1 range defense basically means you just can't dive, or you shouldn't dive, or it would be a huge problem. Nanashi, sup dude? My PC's back from maintenance. I think it will take weeks to configure everything again. Dude, I was a bit worried when you weren't around. Not that you have any like obligation to be here, but like, I was like, I hope he's okay. But PC, just being PC maintenance obviously sucks, but that's much better than anything else bad that could potentially happen. Archery ranges, what the fuck? My life story, I'm main JD. Hell yeah. Come in the right time. I love JD as well. I'm really nervous about the rework because I think she's really fun as it is. If they fuck up the rework, I'm going to be pissed because I think JD is really fun to play. It's just more fun French. It's not necessarily better French, but it's more fun French. Mr. Casting, thanks Nanashi, you're very kind. Very kind words. Very kind words. I do genuinely very much appreciate it. These are the boar villagers having to go onto wood. No, honestly, Numudan's doing a great job. You can tell there's a little bit of nerves in here though. Like he's really worried about throwing with one bad dive. Range defense +1 coming in ever so soon. And I'm not sure what this double archery range is for. This doesn't... I don't know what he thinks is happening. Did he scout the barracks and think it's going to be Spearman Night All-In? Oh, great pick off there from Numudan. Every time Lucifron pulls a weak knight back, that's Numudan's time to be, oh, that's one knight by itself, let me pick it off. And another knight going down. Even more experience turning over as well. I'm sure we're not going to get level 4 JDs. I know there's something in the bottom there going on as well. I'm sure we're not going to see level 4 JD, but it's just really nice. And yeah, okay, it is. We're going to be all over. GG comes in. Numudan pulling it out. And I think, honestly, fuck me, this door. I mean, I think this really goes to show the difference in the styles there, or the choices made from Numudan on JD. Some people think JD nowadays is better than French in the mirror matchup, pseudo mirror matchup. I, as a JD player, may be biased and don't think that's the case. I still think it's French favored, but I've been seeing the last few games I've watched of this matchup, JD pull it out. But I think honestly, Numudan just playing aggressive early, getting the night count, the early night count, right? And then as soon as range JD was on the field, denied gold completely. And then it was basically over from there, right? Like, that's kind of it, no? Like, what else was, like, obviously the game played out a lot longer than that, and actually Lucifron did end up taking one very good fight, and then subsequently losing the next fight. But once range JD denied the gold, which is obviously at the front, it's on Gorge, there's a good chance, like a higher percentage chance that the gold's going to be in the front on Gorge. And once that was denied, that was over. Fucking Lucifron, it's basically a mirror matchup where like the smallest percentages make the difference. And Lucifron early on had to make a market to then trade for gold to get knights. She's better in general, just outscale French so badly? See, I don't know. I think she doesn't. I think she doesn't scale. I think the French eco scales better. And as a result, you just have more knights. And I think in this matchup, having more knights is what wins you. That's how it used to play. I'm seemingly being proved wrong, so actually maybe I'll shut my mouth. But the way this matchup used to play is you would just lose, you would just be outmassed on knights, and then it was all over. But now now it's a bit different. But I think level 2 JD is like pretty easy to deal with as well. Because you can't take a fight out on the map, or a bad fight out on the map as JD, or you will lose JD, which is a huge blow economically, because you need her to get back, because your sort of win condition is getting level 3. I just think Lucifron started too greedy. I think if they both went for aggressive matchup to start with, I think it would have gone differently. But maybe I'm completely wrong. Plus, I'm a JD enjoyer. I think she's so much more fun. Patrick, I feel like you're like the devil's advocate, or maybe no, that's not fair. The contrarian in the community, like the unpopular opinion guy, which is a very important role, by the way. Very important role. That's not a negative. But when I read your opinions, I'm like, let me assume I'm the opposite stance, and then let me consider objectively. Look at the game counts, and you see if people think JD is more fun than French. My opinions aren't based on what people think. I think people, but from saying that yours is an unpopular opinion, that's a fair argument. But I do think that people play French more so because they're easier. And I think particularly for casual players, it's hard to play with a hero, and a very squishy hero. Like, it's not like a Warcraft 3 hero, right? Where you've got to leave them idle for fucking half an hour before they die. Or they get surrounded, but that's like a higher level. Where's the next game? I don't have to take in a little break. The next game's not up yet. Bear with me. I'll see if I get the drafts. Yes, the drafts are up. Bam, 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 bam. Nanashi, Sun Tzu, you've been you listened to that segment from Boy on the Homestead stream where you read his fucking Art of War. Oh, this is great. I love that guy. Okay, this is the maps very quickly. Gorge was first up. We got Helendale, Borderland, Coastal Cliffs, and Four Lakes. So just a one water map to be played, which is interesting because I think that favors Lucifron. I think water maps favor Lucifron, excuse me. So Borderland, Helendale, and Coastal Cliffs in there. Helendale, interesting one, because, you know, Lucifron doesn't really like to play those macro games. But the other map's very much in his sort of style. So we'll see what's up next. And if we go across to the draft... Okay, so Ottoman, Malian, and Macedonian being banned. So no Byzantine ban here. And Numudan not opting to ban Golden Horde either. So we see a loss for French and a win for JD. We don't know what's picked yet. I haven't seen it. But we've got interesting picks from Lucifron. Opting for Tuklak, Knights Templar. There's only one water map, bear in mind. House of Lancaster, Knights Templar, Tuklak, and Japanese. These are 4 civs that have only really seen success on water. 2TC KT is getting a bit more love, but I'm not sure I'm a believer. Same with House of Lancaster, actually. Bro, if Lucifron plays 2TC every game, I'm going to lose my mind. But he's got Sengoku and Byzantine, which I think are great civs for him. And then Golden Horde, China, Yubid, Jushi. 4 really strong picks for Numu. And then Rus and Mongol were, okay. Mongol for the hybrid, and then Rus, maybe he's got something up his sleeve. Trying to micromanage a hero unit in a game with incredible input delay, I just don't enjoy it. I think it's actually not that bad to control. I love it. But I think that's one other thing. I think it's a lot of, I think it's love-hate for JD, or for hero units. And I think that's fine. I don't think there's a problem with that. because it is a variant, right? You can play French or you can play JD. So I don't think it's a problem. That's why I'm very skeptical, not skeptical, nervous about the rework, because I think JD is really fun, and I think they can make it more fun. So I'm not upset that they are reworking her, but I'm a bit, yeah, just worried that they might make her less fun. Why is there no game up yet? Wait, Vortex has his game up? Is he playing at the minute as well? Just on a... let's get spoilers? No, it won't. Oh yeah, you're playing Vortex demo, right, of course. And then we've got Lucifron and Numudan is what we're watching, and then Puppy, Louis are playing, and Marine Lord and Gully are playing. Okay. Where's my game? Maybe they took a break. Bum, 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 bum. Aha, it's up now. So it's going to be Borderlands, Lucifron on Sengoku versus Numudan on a U-bit. Ooh la la. We just watched this matchup before. I just don't enjoy it. Completely fair, dude. And I think I said unpopular opinion before, but I do think a lot of people don't enjoy JD. And I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Alright. I'll update the score once we get in. I won't guess this time. Ah, 4.5 minutes. Fuck. I thought it was a bit further along than that. What was Beast's score? It was 3-1 to Beasty over Corvinus. I think not enjoying JD is not an unpopular opinion. It's one that I don't share strongly, but I don't think that is just all your other ones. Exception that proves the rule. Let's call it that. So I wonder what they picked. I wish I could see snipes. Why can't I? Is there no way I can see that stuff? Oh, I can. We got 3.5 minutes. Wait, hang on. I know how to do this. Aha! Alright, so Lucifron picked Sengoku and Biz, and Numudan, Ayuba, and Golden Horde. So actually, so Lucifron believing in Sengoku against Ayuba, I guess. So we just saw this matchup, by the way, against Beasty against Corvinus, and Beasty went infantry. Spearman Tanegashima, and then Samurai Tanegashima. But he was able to deny the gold from the fast castle with military wing from Corvinus. And his spawn was very good. So I'm keen to see if it goes the same way or not, matchup-wise. Do you have an example? My most unpopular opinion is probably heavy spears suck, but I can't think of another. My point was more, everyone argues with you in chat. So everyone's like, Patrick said something? Nah. You know what I mean? Although I do think heavy spears are good, but I think they fit one role in the game and that's it. So like, I think heavy spears are really, really strong early castle because the only counter is crossbows and you can only make those in castle. So it's hard to counter them. So they start off good, but then they fall off really, really hard. I can't wait to play Episode again. On the week I was without PC, Episode got reworked just for me to suffer. Yeah, bro, tell me about it. They look really cool. I'm waiting to see them in tournament. The only game I've seen so far was the 8x speed one we watched of Kiljadi against Gully Deckle, and Kiljadi won, but I couldn't really tell you what happened. He went 2TC, but I didn't even see what wing he went. That's my opinion about heavy spears only working in a castle. Alright, well we agree. Fuck. See, now you got me questioning my opinions. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Okay, and I know how to look at the I know how to work the draft thing now, so I can see what they're banning, because I didn't know how to do that before. Okay, so we've got Sengoku and we've got Ayubid. Cool. All right, one more minute. Cool. I like to argue you're right about that. Hell yeah, dude. That's fine. Live your best life, man. Unless you get banned, in which case, bad luck. Eco and your admin wing work in the same role for Abbasid? Yeah, maybe. I think it's a math thing, right? In a lot of cases. I think people like, I don't know if anyone's done it. Maybe they have actually. I'm sure the pros have looked at it, but like whether the math works out as being better or not. Because on the face of it, with the changes, I think it makes a huge difference. Just what gives you better eco. I don't think arguing is a reason for getting banned. Not necessarily. I don't think it's the well, maybe there's a difference between debating or having a conversation about a topic and then arguing it. Maybe that's the difference. I don't think people want to look at don't want to read a chat where people are we want Numudan are going at it. I think you're fine, brother. You're fine here at the very least. All right, let's jump into game 2. On the left side of the map, in the yellow, it is Lucifron on Sengoku Daimyo. And on the right, in the red, on Ayubid, we have Numudan. All right, Numudan taking out game 1 in pretty comfortable fashion. I think he looked like a little bit nervous closing out the game. Definitely played it a bit safe, right? Not wanting to like take that dive in with all of the knights, even though he had a huge advantage with them. But understandable. And obviously it did work out in the end, being the safe but sure approach to close out the game. And he very much did, being able to deny that gold early and then go on to basically deny Lucifron from being able to get out of his base. So really well played from Numudan in that JD French matchup. Now onto a matchup which is kind of interesting, because we just saw it before in the Beasty vs Corvinus series. Beasty was on Sengoku, Corvinus was on Ayubid. Beasty opted, he had a great spawn, to be fair. Matsuri on gold and wood. Berries in the front as well, underneath the radius of the Matsuri. You can't ask for much more. But he was able to go and put a lot of pressure on that fast castle out of Numudan, out of Corvinus, who on their Ayubids went for that military wing fast castle to try to deny Yatai and then get up safely himself. But it didn't ever really come together for Corvinus, always on the back foot. And it was a huge infantry army from BC Sengoku, which won him the day in that matchup. We'll see if that's the case. But there wasn't a single mounted samurai made in that game, actually. Whereas we're used to seeing Sengoku make basically exclusively that unit. Well, Yari plus mounted samurai, but they're both kind of disgusting in their own right and fill that same dangerous cavalry role. And we are going to see at least a similar aspect of the build out of Numudan in this one, which is the reinforcements wing to get us up to feudal age. Spawn-wise, things are a little bit different, but it's not particularly safe, is it, for Numudan here on Baldland? Gold's kind of off in the wops, but still very much exposed for Lucifron to be able to aggress it. Berries are in the front as well, but you do sort of hoover these up quite quickly. And then for Lucifron, the gold is in the front and the Matsuri is in the front, which is never exactly where you'd like it, but still opting for gold rather than this tiny, tiny wood line. Although it could get the sheep and the berries in there as well. It doesn't make as big of a difference as when you can get it early on to get that advantage out of the gold. Even if there is a little bit of personal preference as to what people do like for their Matsuri, whether it's wood or gold. Opting for the 3 Yatai to start off Dark Age, which I think is still becoming largely a standard. We've got one down here on this boar, one on this boar, which is going to give you that full 60 a minute income, which is really, really nice. And then the other one can just sit at home under the berries and the sheep, which is very nice as well. So can't be too upset for Lucifron to start, and we see exactly like Beasty showed us in the previous game with this matchup. The Ryokan is the landmark of choice. It did get a little bit of nerf to that healing speed, but it is still a lot of healing nonetheless, and has definitely been the choice. Even though those Shinobi, I think they're still pretty good out of the Coca Township. They don't have the same, don't pack the same punch that they once did, and that healing can do a lot of damage. What happened in the French vs JD? How did Lucifron lose? Okay, so Lucifron opened up Survival Techniques Wheelbarrow on his deer and got a much slower age up. And then Numudan on JD went for fast age up, 4 on School of Cavalry, including Jeanne d'Arc herself. And then got across with the first knight plus ranged JD and denied the gold that Lucifron had at the front. And then Lucifron never got his gold back. Lucifron built a market to trade out for gold. And Numudan probably could have won a lot earlier, but he played it real safe and then was able to just close it out. And Lucifron did take one very good fight, which I thought maybe was a turning point, like against all odds, but not to be. The disadvantage was too big. So yeah, look, I think a bit of a, I think Lucifron will be kicking himself, but well played from Numudan to read it. Takeda Clan Daimyo Estate coming out off gold already, but going to be fine with the feudal commitment. If we are going to see Daimyo, and then presumably we'll see some production come in with this many on wood. Although, is he transferring? No, it's just a drop off. The Deserator is going to walk away, and it's going to be stable. So we are going to see not the same approach that Beasty took. We are going to see it turn into that Yari spam. At least some Yari, I should say, early on. But just like we saw previously as well, you know on Borderlands as well where those Yatai are going to be. The deer and the boar are in the same place, except for the middle, which I guess you're running through anyway. But that boar is definitely going to be the point of interest. And lovely body blocking here from Numudan, actually. Big wiggle here out of, and maybe push it against the tree. Yeah, nice. Pushes it around the other side of the tree. So this actually delays it by quite a lot, where even when the Daimyo comes, there's a decent chance that Numudan still gets the kill. Hasn't right-clicked it, though. And is doing that on purpose, actually. Wants to fight the Daimyo. And is going to just try to deny it with the scout so that Numudan can pick up both. But the second, there is no second Deserator here. So it is definitely a bit of, not necessarily, yeah, okay, necessarily greed. And actually does go down. The second Deserator is out, but now it's Daimyo plus Yari, and this Yatai is going to make its way home. So not exactly what Numudan was after there, but the big difference being he hasn't committed to anything, whereas there's double stables coming out of Lucifron here, and he's going to get himself up to Castle Age with that industry wing and be able to turn this into a big bit of tempo, which although, yeah, it's had its changes in the time, well, both industry wing and the Ubid civilization, but it's still really strong. Like, it still gives you so much tempo to turn this into, whether you sell the stone and turn this into a big timing with upgraded Desert Raiders, Camel Lancers, and go and take the map, get all your relics in, and then, yeah, whether you go second TC or opt to sell that stone as well. We saw the second TC was the option for Corvinus in the last game. Obviously didn't go his way, but that's not necessarily the reason. But in this situation, it is, yeah, a big Yari commitment from Lucifron, which is going to see these villagers come home for Numudan. But he's got plenty of sheep still under the TC. Yeah, 17 including carcasses. And he did get a few more sheep on the count too, which is a nice position for him to be in. Just needs to not lose everything, basically, here. And we see, yep, range defense coming in, iron undermesh coming in for Lucifron, so he's going to be able to dive into this gold, dive into whatever he wants, even under the TC with enough of these units. Actually, going straight in under the TC, doesn't care about the gold at all. He brings these back, this Numudan, or getting him, sort of trying to get him on the angle there, which is interesting. The age up comes in. He's going to get one lost here. The rest try to dive into the TC, but there are two that are going to be left behind. Lucifron really prioritizing getting these Deserator count down before they can be upgraded and before there's too much of a mess that's going to cause some problem. Lucifron really wants to win this now, and there are no units here for Numudan. There is this one Deserator which has come out, which will probably shortly be going down to these Yara Cavalry, which are just so fast and do so much damage once they can get on top of those with his extra damage, bonus damage to the ranged. Now you have more villagers coming through from the wood line. A little bit of hopping here, but I mean these Yari are so fast. The Daimyo is still alive as well, which means the attack speed is even faster. It is going to go down very, very shortly, the Daimyo, I believe. But he's picking up a lot of kills. 5 villager kills now already as he looks to walk back out and secure himself up. And he's going to come out with a Moss to try to start getting out some imams? No, Dervish, of course. To get your relics, but I don't really see getting much of anything here from Lucifron when he has got this much out. Was it a supposed market was going to come in? I mean, was he actually going to go for the second TC after taking those 5 kills? It is going to be the second TC coming up against wood, half securing gold and securing berries. That's a really nice position if he can get it up, and it looks like he will. Numudan will secure a second TC, as these Yaris, although they are so fast with that 1.88 movement speed, there is no chance for them to get to the south side of the map. There are just these 4 units, which will get there, but I don't think they'll get there in time to deny it, but maybe they'll get some damage done. Does Lucifron see this? No, he doesn't know, but he's going to find out very shortly. There it is, and it's only 2/3 of the way there. The scout is going to sacrifice his life. No, there's no A move there. Nice from Lucifron. No, he pulls them back. He's not going to get it up, actually. That's so nice for Lucifron. I really thought with that many villagers it was going to get up a lot quicker, but not to be. It's going to pick up another villager kill as well. That makes it 6 in total. Yari going to look to come on the other side on the wood, but not going to be the case as well. So no wood being gathered, but remember, none of the industry wing wood has been sold, so there's still plenty in the bank to play with. But Sake Brewery is coming up for Lucifron back home. And that means those Yari are going to be upgraded. And of course, all dangerous as well behind it is going to be the mounted samurai, which there are 4 camel lances on the field. But camel lances honestly don't do too much, I think, when you have a decent amount of mounted samurai. They're going to do great against the Yari, the camel lances, but I don't think so against the mounted samurai. The extra damage against cavalry is nice, but I don't think it makes that much of a difference unless you're in sort of that like Yari versus horseman type of contest. At least not with other upgrades as well. And a nice little pickup here. It's got nice quick reactions to drop the relic, as you can't afford to lose anything here. Any amount of gold you can't afford to lose. Did that charge get cancelled? They just weren't charging. Either way, do push those Yari away. And it's going to go back for the relic, but it might... Ooh, little juke coming up above. That's quite nice. And then Lucifron, there's no scout in this group. Oh, he does see it, does see it, does see it, does see it. But the camel lances are there, so he might be alright. This Yari's going to come and try to surround. Oh, look at these fucking hyenas, man. Coming in, pack wolves. Does get on top of it. Yari... Oh, the dervish does drop it. Quite clever there. Oh, no, not clever enough. It does go down. And even if Lucifron lost a few units there, that still would have been... enough there to clean up that dervish. So it doesn't quite get that one, does lose the dervish, but it does a good job bringing it back most of the way, and we'll be able to get it now. The Yari end up going home with not very much health there at all, but they've largely done their job, and it's time for the big boys to take over. Mounted Samurai coming through, a couple of Daimyo as well. And now, yeah, that just actually, if you can pull away these 3 camel lances from the base, that's pretty big. If this cavalry mass can then dive in on the second town center, there are only 8 slots here, 12 villages remaining. These villages aren't going to have enough places to go as well on the gold. But there are 2 more camel lances. No, these are they are camel lances. Yeah, I always get confused between Deserators, but let's pick up a couple. 9 kills in total here. Second TC is up, but it's not being able to get any pace here at all. We'll check the relic count, but it is the 1+1, so it does pick up another one. Does Numudan, wherever that may be, which maybe can bring that in soon. But if Numudan can actually get some of these relics, it's gonna be quite nice for him. Not a bad position. But the Camel Lancer count is growing, but so is the Mounted Samurai count. And there's no economic damage that's come out against Lucifron. Plus, he's got so many Yatai still running around. 4 out of 5 at the minute, but he can still make that 5th one. And upgrades, eco upgrades coming in as well. And there's no eco upgrades or blacksmith upgrades actually for Numudan. 2 relics in the bank. with the other three still on the field. This first Iki Monk is going to pick up that one. And it's a Yatai down there on the other one. But now we get, okay, Kev Civ is back. The last matchup we saw Beasty vs Corvinus in this matchup. We did not see Kev out of the Sengoku player. And it worked out for Beasty in that game. But a much different situation here on Boardland. It's full Kev all the time. And the Mounted Samurai, we're about to see if they can still pull off the heroes that they've been able to do before. But they do cost a lot more gold now. But gold is, yeah, not really the problem for Lucifron anyway. Yari's still running in, just a 9 kills still, so not getting a lot more death to be caused from Lucifron, but still getting plenty of damage. And we see, okay, the walls are coming in for Numudan, trying to shore things up a little bit at home, which is very nice, safe play. We saw, oh, nice, villagers take out that last pesky Yari on the backside, and it's going to be a pesky Camel Lancer on the other side. We see the charge coming in, not the greatest charge in the world, but enough still to 3-hit, and the first villager goes down. But Numudan, nice little bit of work for him on the other side. It is going to be the Mounted Samurai diving in on the second TC, which is starting to, well, not really paying off, actually, just 3 villagers up. Camel Lancer's turn, a very, very short charge, which is not a lot of damage, but these Mounted Samurai aren't taking a very good concave, but they just are incredibly strong. See Lucifron trying to micro back the weak ones, which is doing a decent job, but at this point they are now going down. One Mounted Samurai splitting off to try to get some eco damage, but the trade is roughly even, which is going to suit Numudan with the 2 TC and the defensive advantage there, but still no upgrades on his part either. TC doesn't really do any damage to these Mounted Samurai, and they still have one more ranged defense to come in as well. So not the greatest threat from a defensive point of view out of the structures from Numudan, but at the very least, the eco is going to slowly start ticking away if he is left to his own devices. But left to his own devices, he is not for now. Just one Mounted Samurai coming around, but you see the much bigger, more dangerous charge. Actually, not quite, because Textiles is in for Numudan, and that saves that villager's life. So already paying for itself, that Textiles, and I'm sure over here it's going to pay for itself more too. So very nice pick up there. I'm not sure when he got it, but certainly has been worth it here. And it's just more and more Mounted Samurai spam. How many daimyo are we up to here? We've got all 3 daimyo coming in, so now the deflective armor plus our Ryokan are coming in. We see the healing coming in. Say we take a little weak one here. Yeah, it comes up quite a lot. It's slower than it was. It did get nerfed, don't get me wrong, but it is still pretty good. Actually, I thought it would have ticked in. Boom, there's another 4. Yeah, 4 every 5 seconds. It's not bad, to be honest. Particularly when the health is otherwise what you wouldn't have. Another short charge from the camels is not ideal. There's one Desert Raider in there. That's from the military wing. Otherwise, we're not producing them. It's pure Camel Lancer against Mounted Samurai. Micro from Lucifron there, and it looks like the Mounted Samurai are overwhelming with this fight. Do this here for healing, but don't be confused by those green health. It's not that much unless the one they're actively targeting. But there's a decent conquer. So many low HP units here from both players, actually. These Mounted Samurai, there's only one of them that has any amount of health to its name, which means this thing could turn the tide very shortly, but there is enough there, and the raw count is huge. 15 to 5, and these villagers have nowhere to go. There's nowhere to garrison. We were at 10 villager kills before. Textiles be damned. That is not enough to keep all of these villagers alive. Do we even have wheelbarrow? We don't. Oh my gosh. So these guys are running away even so slowly. Yeah, may as well just turn and fight. Be brave for you bit villagers. But 16 are now down as those Mounted Samurai turn to run away, but there's nothing really stopping Lucifron from just doubling down and doing the same thing again, and the villagers even walk into their death a little bit here. It might be worth it to body block. I don't know. It's hard to judge with a second TC, and especially when you look at the vill count and you're still down on villagers, all things considered. And wait, are these? Oh no, I was going to say, are those traders? But that's just Matsuri. I always get confused watching Sengoku. They haven't fixed that. Always gets me. As we are going to see the Odachi upgrade coming in, which means those Mounted Samurai are going to do even more damage against infantry, which is an interesting timing with the Spearmen coming out. These are only Dark Age Spearmen, aren't they? These are guys that, they're Feudal Age Spearmen for now. They're still not going to do very much damage. You can see on this one here, they're not doing very much damage at all to these Mounted Samurai. But it is still close for Numudan if he can hold on just a little bit. He just needs to get enough of a mass to be able to hold on here. But with 3 to 4 Mounted Samurai being produced at all times, it is too many. And Lucifron is going to bring it back and tie it up 1-1. So we see the matchup go the same way as the Beasty Corvinus series, but not at all played in the same manner. Very cavalry focused. Mounted Samurai, the Sengoku of previous patch, was still here and does end up winning it, even against those camels. But I do feel like Lucifron played that very well, was able to get a lot of damage done, against that sort of fast castle from Numudan. We see the industry wing tick up here, but resources wise, income wise, it just really wasn't happening for poor Numudan. And yeah, the kills were just picking away. Second TC coming to try to make a difference, but was never really overtake on kills. Definitely not able to overtake on income, and ultimately not going to happen there with the military, as the count was looking good, but those mounted samurai, they're worse than they were, but they're so incredibly strong. GG! We tie it up. We tie it up 1-1 in Lucifron Numudan. I think Numudan's playing really well, though. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed not to have won that matchup, but I think after the first game, this should give him a lot of confidence. Like, you know, Lucifron bleeds. There is that ability for him to find damage and take games. And I think it's harder to go and do that, to find damage and take games when, well, to find damage, I should say, when you are playing the fast castle, you're very on the defensive. But in this case, yeah, Lucifron, he plays into that aggression so nicely. The Yari did a great job, and then obviously the Mounted Samurai in to finish the job. Sengoku of old, doing what they do best. All right, the next game is underway, but there should be another, at least a couple more minutes on observer delay. So I'm just going to go to the bathroom very, very quickly. I will be right back. Oh, and I'll get rid of ads to give. I'll do ads to get rid of pre-roll. Sorry. Okay. Shit. Alright, we go next game. Quick. Let's stop fucking around. Whoops. Stop fucking around. Lucifron. Alright. KT and Roos. I don't think I don't know if we'll have delay at all, actually. What that scores? 1-1. Kiljadi, I know you posted that a while ago, but congrats on your win before, man. So I tried to watch the last game, but I was a little bit late. So we watched it on 8 times speed. Congrats on the series win, man. Alright, here we go. Let's jump into it. Alright. We'll get up to speed. But as we're getting up to speed, we'll introduce them in the bottom left in the yellow. Knights Templar, it is Lucifron. And in the top right, as we are now up to speed, in the Rus, on the Rus, in the red, it is VES Numudan. Now, I think Numudan's been playing great. I'm becoming a big fan of the guys. I think he's not an up-and-comer. He's been around a long time. But I think he's just been playing really well. And playing very entertainingly as well. As we see, Lucifron is looking to move in the dare, or at least make them easier to get to. That's a very nice dare spawn. Is this EGC 4 lakes? Is this how it normally works? But yeah, he does opt for the early harbor. That's nothing crazy here. And yeah, we've got the dock here for Numudan with the lodger fishing ships. Now we saw, interestingly, on this map in Homestead Cup B, played Rus on this map. He was the only one to play Rus. But he did pick it on this map and had a great game win against Beasty in this exact matchup on this very map. Now, whether that's the case of Rus being great or whether it was a case of B executing over Beasty is maybe a little bit more of a toss-up, because it looked like Beasty had that game dead to rights and then all of a sudden lost all his army, and B was coming the other way and wasn't to be stopped and ended up winning Rus over KT, which was, yeah, an interesting one for sure. One of the things you can do with Rus that's quite interesting is with the Logia, what do you call it? Transformation is, I think it's only, I'm not sure if it's only useful if you get the adaptable hulls upgrade, but basically it makes it cheaper and faster to switch ships. So you can get the cheaper transport ship and then turn it into a fishing ship, and it is faster. I think it still costs ever so slightly more, if I'm right. Maybe need to figure out my math on that. But it does mean you can get out some fishing boats faster. So faster and maybe slightly more expensive, I think, is probably the answer there. Which is an interesting way of boosting your economy. But maybe not really the most impactful thing in the world. Just something interesting that Rus can do on water. See the second dock coming in, or second harbor, I should say, coming in for Lucifron. So these harbors, they cost more, right? 250 wood, but they're a lot tankier. And they can get even more tanky if you go for the Angevin Empire Age Up and Castle Age. But they can still be very strong on this map. And basically what we see... Oh, he's got... Okay, let's have a look at the vision here. Oh, we can see if there's any docks. Okay. So one of the things we see a lot of the time, being a little bit of the meta here on 4 lakes, is the way that you secure up your pond and make sure you're not getting counter-docked is by sending one of your fishing boats to sort of the far side, whether that be shoreline fish or whether that be close deep sea fish, to be able to scout out if a villager is putting down a dock on your pond. As a bit of a way of doing that. Rus have an advantage in that respect because they don't need to go home to drop off with their fishing boats, so you can just sit out there forever. Whereas with other civs, if you were going to do that, that fishing ship here would have to go all the way back home. But instead, Lucifron opts to make a second harbor for himself on that side to secure up things. So if it is the case that another dock was going to come down from Numudan on Lucifron's pond, he would see it. So both players are playing safe, but in slightly different ways. Although Numudan's got an extra dock on this side. No fishing out of it just yet. Nope, first boat coming in now. And this villager on the berries, interesting, not the fish. But it's going to be taking the 2 ponds. Age Up's now coming in. Pretty mirrored, pretty similar starts, right? We've got Kremlin coming in from Numudan, which makes sense on a water map or hybrid map. And then the Hospitaler coming in from Lucifron. Have seen players go for the different age ups, all the different age ups in Feudal Age or commanderies. Commanderies. With KT, all having their uses. Knights Hospitaller feels like kind of a default at the minute because it gives you the villager bonus. It's always going to be have some use, even if you're not making those Knights Hospitaller themselves. But they are quite good units as well, and they do scale quite far or quite well into the later game. So definitely never a loss to go for it. You just sacrifice those specifics out of the other two age ups. The Chevalier out of the French age up, or the Sergeant and the extra melee damage out of the Antioch age up. The reduction in gold cost from the French age up is a consideration as well, but I don't know. Playing a lot of KT myself, it feels largely meaningless. I'm sure it adds up, but it feels pretty meaningless. It doesn't feel very impactful. Excuse me as I drink throughout this, by the way. Unprofessional, but I'm enjoying my time. It's really excited for this EGC tournament because there are so many games, and I can cast some games myself to be able to watch them in detail, and then I can go back and watch the mainstream VOD later to catch up on those games. So I feel very spoiled on my weekends for a long time now, and honestly probably my Mondays as well as I go back and watch the VODs when I'm definitely working. All right, both players now as a result looking to just go into the castle age most likely here. Lucifron is very close, and Numudan still got lots on wood for both for the fishing ships, but seemingly comfortable with what they're after. The only main difference is that Lucifron has got his 2 pilgrims out, which is quite an investment of food and wood, and he hasn't opted to take this west side pond either. So, or I should say lake really, it's 4 lakes, isn't it? Whereas Numudan's taken both of his, and there's been no attempts at counter-docking either. So everything very straightforward, and I like to see this. High Trade House would have some pretty good mileage in any of these locations, but the Abbey of the Trinity is a really nice landmark with not only can you go and get those relics very quickly, especially because they are mounted monks. Those warrior monks, they get there so much more quickly. You can produce them so much cheaper. And it also means if you go into horse archers, you can pair them with the warrior monks to get the damage and armor bonus, and the upgrade, the unique upgrade fervor, which gives you even more attack damage and range on the Saint's Blessing when it procs, means that your whole horse archer army, it's a lot easier to get that prompt. And because horse archers now, they do less damage, but they do attack faster, it kind of makes it a bit more impactful when you're attacking so much faster with that extra damage. We just saw barracks come in and 2 ranges. 2 barracks, 2 range. So men-at-arm crossbow is going to be the call. Let me shut up about horse archers. It's going to be men-at-arm crossbow. Crossbow, of course, is the heavy spearmen come in with that Angevin Empire, and it is 3 barracks, 3 range. So, I mean, pretty similar sort of builds, I guess. Nothing too different here. We will sort of keep an eye on the relic counts as well, by the way, as we have this early castle age, and both players are going to be contesting those. It looks like we've got 3 pretty much smack in the middle, and then 1 on either side for our players. Warrior monks are out on the field now, and the first monks are coming out for Lucifron. So men-at-arm crossbow into heavy spear archer, which I feel like for Lucifron, this is kind of a composition that you just normally often go for, even not knowing what your opponent might be doing. However, it doesn't have anything to deal with the men-at-arms damage-wise. So without crossbows of his own. And I'm not sure if he knows that there are men-at-arms coming his way or not. And that might be a bit of a window or a win for Numudan in the immediate. He gets 1 relic coming in now, the first of them coming in for Numudan, which looks like it's probably going to get home safely. Where is that first monk for Lucifron? Here it is, which looks like, yeah, with all of the army here from Lucifron, will secure that one. So looking to trade evenly there, and it's going to be about who can get this middle one, I think, more than anything else. As players, well, at least Numudan not really wanting to show his army. which is an interesting take and makes sense when you're making men-at-arms because they are easily countered if spotted, but they just haven't been seemingly spotted in this instance. Is he going to opt for the sacred site on the way back? No, too greedy. Just going to go back. But there's a second monk that is going to come out for Lucifron. So committing to another one. And he sees it. Lucifron immediately stopping veteran archer production and going into crossbowman. But does that mean he's going to be able to take a fight, or is he going to have to delay taking a fight? The stealth for us makes it a little bit awkward. If the scout goes down, which it does, warrior monk in there, which is going to proc Saint's Blessing right away. So you see extra armor coming in, +1/+1, plus extra 2 damage on all of these units, which get the little glow that comes in. So, but the range is only like a couple tiles without the upgrade, so not very much to start with. The other interesting thing here is we see the Kremlin buff here, the militia hand cannoneers coming in, which actually do a decent amount of damage with 12, but they don't stay alive for very long, and there's only so many of them. They really don't do too much. +1 range defenses here, but not +2, but it is only +1 attack. But you see the difference, and the big reason why men-at-arms are still not really beloved, at least until all the upgrades come in, and that is because they still die to archers until all of the upgrades come in. But with Saint's Blessing and +2 range defense, they will be very tanky against the archers. Makes a big difference. But at this stage, a big count is going to make the difference. Plus, Lucifron's seen it now. He's already got 7 on the field. This is the thing about water economy, eh? It's just like 4 range, 4 barracks. It comes in so fast. +2, then +1 range defense coming in as well. And you see the power of KT. Just the eco turning everything, the strong wood eco getting strong food with the fishing. And then we even get better gold eco by having the pilgrims out there to be able to add in some gold of their own. Which is, in this way, even with the nerf, still 106, 108. It's pretty good. I think this actually may have been pretty much 130 or close to it in the previous patch. So it does have an effect in a game like this, but still, it's a decent amount of gold coming in essentially for free. And now, this is quite a bit of idle time actually, if Lucifron can force this back. He doesn't have a scout with this army though. If we look at Lucifron's vision, well, we can see that actually over the wall. And we see, or he sees with these 2 heavy spearmen where those villages are going, and that's going to pull a bunch of them away. Although this army is obviously going to clean them up. But Lucifron now picking up both sacred sites. And he was able to, no, he wasn't able to get that middle relic. The middle relic goes over to Numudan. So it is a 3-2 split in favor of Numudan. That's something he's got going for him. And he's going to be able to produce these warrior monks very, very cheaply. Which means all of these units are going to do a lot more damage. Particularly when you're massing archers, which that of course Roos love to do with their wood economy bonus. It means, oh, you see how much damage these men-at-arms take. Level range defense, Iron Undermesh, level 1 hasn't come in, which means that they take so much damage to these archers with +1 attack. And if they do, or if they can get Saint's Blessing on top of them, which means that there is a potential for a much stronger army. Saint's Blessing comes in. Oh, further upgrade is in. Yes, so which means that these archers, or these crossbowmen and these archers, get the buff, which means they're going to do so much damage to all of these units. The archers in particular, because they attack so much faster. But the buff does not last that long, and Numudan does not have very many warrior monks. You see him producing a bunch now. There's 3, and yet Divine Light, which is the extra upgrade, which gives the timing, the duration rather. So he's got extra range, extra effect, and soon to have extra timing, which means the Saint's Blessing is about as good as it gets, for now at least. But with only having 1 warrior monk in there in the mix, it's just not enough to be able to proc consistently. And you see the difference with the damage coming, especially against heavy spearmen and men-at-arms. It's not a hell of a lot. And with a mass advantage for KT, they feel very good being able to walk through, especially when you've got the sacred sites ticking behind you. And a couple of relics as well. Level 2 range defense is about to come in for both players actually. But it is, yeah, it's very much just a micro war, just fucking having it out in the middle of the park here, just fighting it out, seeing what happens. Which I think both players must feel like they've got pretty good eco behind us to feel comfortable doing this. And I mean, they both got very strong economic bonuses in a situation like this. Numudan having 2 ponds, you're always going to feel good as a Roos. 2 ponds, plus you've got all of your wood eco going, although there's no wooden fortress here. Kremlin has a big range, but it's not that big. There's no wooden fortress here at all, which is which if he doesn't get one up soon is going to be a bit of a mistake. as basically the essence of the Rus's wood economy bonus. But there's so much production behind us from Lucifron, and I do get worried as time goes on whether this is going to be, even though they're just fighting non-stop in the middle here, that the grind is not going to be in Numudan's favor if it continues the way it is. 16 villagers looking to get up that small wall to sort of secure a bit of wood. Again, no wooden fortress in these positions, which, yeah, it doesn't extend that far, does it? No. Not buffed. Which is a big oversight, unfortunately, from Numudan. But he's still sticking with the same armies from both players. The first fortress is coming up now on the bottom sacred site for Lucifron, which is only going to add more to his eco as well as securing his position. It's a big archer count from Numudan, and I think especially with Saint's Blessing, if he does get this in here. So +3 damage with the further upgrade. You get the extra armor, which helps against fighting against the opposite ranged mass. Of course, the men-at-arms also become tankier as a result. And of course, it lasts for longer when you've got the Saint's Blessing upgrade, whatever it's called, that I can't remember anymore. But he did get. But it's keeping these warrior monks alive. And they're cheap for sure. 120 resources all up. A lot of it gold, which you're not spending a lot on at the minute, which means they feel pretty cheap. But has he got a second monastery? Would you see the Wooden Fortress come up? That's pretty big. No, he doesn't. So he just doesn't have that many of them. So not prioritizing it, but I think the buff does make a huge effect. Now, the second fortress coming in for Lucifron, which means he's going to have both sacred sites secured up with effective keeps. He's got the Angevin upgrade, which means he's having another 2,500 health, which is huge to be able to take down with, like, if you're just trying to trip it down in particular. Lucifron going for that 17-minute survival techniques. But, I mean, understandably, he's only just going out on deer, right? I know he was on these ones for a while, but not a big deal. Still going to pay for itself. And Numudan thinks he's maybe got a timing here. The big archer count does so much against all of these units. The only thing, obviously, it doesn't do that great against is the heavy spearmen and the men-at-arms. But with the Saint's Blessing upgrade, which just comes in, you see they do die very quickly, especially with the handful of crossbowmen in there as well. Numudan even taking a bunch of those archers to try to kill off these villagers. And can he deny the fortress from going up? It's so close. No, they stop firing. Oh my god, I think there might be a difference. No, it's not the difference. He still gets it. Even though he missed one of those volleys, he still denies the fortress from going up, which means that this position is not secured for Lucifron, and the military count is in Numudan's favor. So really close situation there for Numudan to be able to secure this, and it's only 6 villages getting pulled here from Lucifron. He splits them off to go either side. This is great body blocking from Numudan. Nope, those two aren't making it in. These ones might just tap it. 2 tap. 1 tap. Doesn't get there. Numudan denies it. He reads it like a book, gets the pick, finds all of those villages. 6 villages gone just like that. And all of a sudden, where it looks like the army was trickling in constantly in favor of Lucifron to be able to outmass with that KT army against these archers, Numudan just doubles down, makes a shit ton of archers and crossbowmen, and then is able to break out when Lucifron is committing too much to his forts. Is he going to be able to sneak anything? No, he's keeping units here and he's bringing units back to deny this. And I think Lucifron, honestly, he's probably going to have to cancel if he can't get anything here. And these pilgrims aren't going to be long for this world either, which means he's going to have to switch over here. And it's just going to be this position. And this is really, really nice. He's still not willing to cancel. I mean, it's got a lot of health. It's basically full health, but you do double damage if it's not completed. These pilgrims actually... No! Numudan, get rid of him! All 3 pilgrims make it. If 300 gold somehow ends up being the difference in this game, Numudan will be kicking himself. But other than that, it's a very, very nice play. 3 villages? I got 5 villages, excuse me, are in there going to come out, but it's still a big, big army for Numudan. He's got to pick up the villages. And he pulls off a few of those archers. So body blocking as well. Oh, that's such a clean body block. Oh, Numudan. That's so nice. Hold position on those archers to stop them. And yes, he does. He does it. It doesn't go up, and Numudan wins the game. Oh my gosh. And they say Age of Empires 4 isn't a game of micro. That was such fine margins. I think, honestly, if things continued as they were, Lucifron got that up, he was going to be able to grind Numudan down militarily from that position. I don't know if he was going to necessarily win on Sacred Site victory. Maybe he would. But he was grinding him down. And look at this. He's got the greater resources too, the greater income. But Numudan does enough. And he takes a good fight. He pushes it out. He stops the fortress from going up. Even though he did fuck up one volley of the archers, it was enough. And then Lucifron thinking he could just send, what, 8 villages and then 5 villages or 6 villages to get up a second time. And it wasn't to be. Yo, Numudan, he's doing it, bro. 2-1. 2-1. Kiljadi, thank you for the follow, mate. Thank you for the follow. Numudan's #1 fan. Big fan, Kiljadi, by the way. Big fan. All right. Let's have a look what's up next. See if we can find the map in the next draft, eh? All right, Lucifron, Numudan. What's the map? Can't see the map. Let's see. Right. They are in. It's going to be... No, that's 4 lakes. Fuck off. Okay. It's going to be Coastal Cliffs. And it's going to be Lucifron on House of Lancaster and Numudan on Jushi's Legacy. The snipes were... Bear with. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. The snipes were... Numudan sniped Byzantine from Lucifron and China from Numudan there. We have 4.5 minutes of delay there before we jump in. Interesting. So if we look at the draft then... Nope. Not a professional at all. So Sengoku 1. You were lost. Rus 1. God bless. Nice Templar lost. Rus legit, bro. And then we got Lancaster against Jushi. So we've still got Mongol, China, and Golden Horde. And I think was that the only water map? Bro, I lost the thing. Hang on, bear with. What's the map draft? The map draft was... Oh, wait, so which one haven't we had? Hell and Dale. Oh, bro, Hell and Dale, potential game 5. But Coastal Cliffs for now. Okay, so land for sure is what we know. Biz? Tuklak, so definitely not Tuklak, right? And Japanese would be potentially for Lucifron. And then Golden Horde China, certainly. Oh, I mean, Mongol trade on Helendale. I don't think it's very good, but I saw someone do it. I don't think it was. I can't remember if it was Numudan or not. Okay, so an interesting game 5 as well, which I think would be in Numudan's favor, civ wise. If he goes up probably against Japanese, which is interesting. And then, but he's got to get through this game first, right? House of Lancaster Jushi, which is an interesting one. So if we crack into that one, which I know what I'm doing. And what was the score change? Oh, I changed the score when we get in. Numudan 2-1 up though. Bella, thanks for following, Bella. How you doing? I thought there's a chance that you're coming up, Bella, to Homestead Cup. But hopefully another one then. At the very least, keep up your YouTube videos, Bella. It's awesome seeing, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like an intersection of interests with like the history and the AoE 4 part. I love that kind of shit. I love when people can put two things together, you know? Have their own spin, which is like uniquely theirs. Couldn't get vacation from work? Ah, sucks. Nanashi, mate, don't you dare fucking apologize, mate. Your profile folder now has your name after too much. Oh, all right. You're setting up your new computer. Later, I want to ask you about your opinions on Mongol changes. I think they're insignificant. We can talk more about it later, but I think they're insignificant. That's my take. Even Mangadai, I think they're still dead. Or dead to me. Love lore? Games or books I enjoy? Yeah. It's like, I kind of consider it like, you know how games have like achievements or trophies and shit? And they're kind of like a way of getting more like love, more time or more interest out of a game or something. I kind of see it like that, where it's like if you can dive into like lore or community or anything, fandom, I guess, about well, in my case I'm talking about games, but anything like that, it's kind of cool. Feels like you can get more out of it, of something you love, which is really cool. I like that a lot with particularly like things that do have world building to them. Like obviously I'm a huge Lord of the Rings guy. Like I've got Lord of the Rings tattoo, and then I've got like Witcher. Hang on, why can't I figure this out? Witcher tattoo. Oh, we're in game. Alright, let me stop talking about myself. And let me fix the score, importantly. Because it's 2-1 Numudan, baby! Let's go! Okay. On the left, in the yellow, on House of Lancaster of all things, we have Lucifron. And on the right-hand side of the map, we have in the red on Jushi's Legacy, it is Numudan, who is up 2-1. Which is really, really exciting. Kind of been singing his praises this series as a not an up-and-comer. Keep catching myself almost saying up-and-comer. But a player who has been doing great recently. I feel like, you know, at the verge of that breakthrough, you know. And this might be that chance to make a statement, up 2-1 in this series. And Jushi's Legacy against House of Lancaster on Coastal Cliffs. I mean, that's a pretty good place to be. Both of these civs got pretty significant changes. Jushi's Legacy obviously got their feudal landmarks changed, both the Jungnan Tower and the Meditation Gardens. Excuse me. My fucking door. Which are both really good, to be honest with you. And House of Lancaster got sort of advantage from the 2TC buff. And then they also got their mana cost decreased. The Lancaster Castle got buffed twice and now can actually garrison. So 2TC plays and Fast Castle plays are on the table a lot more for House of Lancaster than they were a few weeks ago, really, which is very exciting. And even then, we were starting to see people give them a little bit more time. People not quite treating them as the black sheep civilization that they have been for so long, basically since their feudal all-in got nerfed. They do definitely have some punch to them, and I think it was B at Homestead Cup which sort of showed, even on land, was it? The 2TC win on land? And that was before the most recent changes. But no, it is not going to be the Lancaster Castle. It is going to be the Abbey of Kings. We will see whether it's going to be more of a boom or not with how much he sends to stone. You have to at least get manas. Or a mana, I should say. And with 3, it doesn't necessarily suggest it's going to be crazy, but it is early days, so we'll keep an eye on our Lucifron to see what he comes up with on the Lancaster. And we'll also keep an eye on Numudan to see whether it's going to be the straightforward Jungnan Tower feudal aggression, taking the food on this map, which is a really good place to be. You can either pro scout it, or I think on Coastal Cliffs it kind of makes it a little bit easier to just go out. And it's going to be Jungnan Tower, unfortunately, to no surprise. And we don't often see players go Song into the Meditation Garden, though I think it is something worth exploring, but maybe not on Coastal Cliffs, as the aggression is probably going to be the name of the game. Sheepwise, Lucifron's picked up 7 more, which is a kind of a big swing, actually. Particularly for Jushi, if he's going to want to go all in on this feudal aggression. as we take an eye to see whether this is going to be the last drop off from these stone villages for the 100 you need for the mana, or whether they're going to stick around. They're going home. Okay, single mana, no 2TC, no funny business. It is going to be sort of that feudal commitment, I guess, from both. As Lancaster, their feudal is not something that's been particularly buffed, to be honest, with the changes. It sort of fits their eco styling, but not so much their aggression styling. So they still get lords. The lords are still good. The HP they get is still great. And then that's kind of where it ends. This is a lovely mana, by the way. This picks up literally everything, which is very nice for 1 mana to be. So the eco is going to feel pretty good. What's the production going to be from Numudan? Nothing to start with. And we still have 3 on gold. So are we going to see Pro Scouts, or are we going to see this turn into upgrades? Time will tell. Time will tell. The mana comes up. First Lord is out. And then finally we're into a little bit of gameplay. Barracks is going to be the first thing else. Okay, so not Pro Scouts then. So what are we gonna go for out of Jushi? Normally I'm just used to seeing Chuganul in. And I think on Coastal Cliffs is quite a short rush distance, and it really helps to be able to get the central food on the map and to be able to deny your opponents. But that said, I don't really play this map, to be honest with you. What the fuck? Okay, we're mixing it up a little bit. Early Palace Guard. And we're getting early Palace Guard. And are we going to get a +1? Is this an attempt to overwhelm? Double archery range. And now this is the response. Going for a lot of Yeoman is the counter to Palace Guard. They only have 2 ranged armor. It will go up to 3, don't get me wrong. But of course you get the +1 attack as Lancaster as well. But mass Yeoman does do a good job. And if you can get Billman upgrade with the Spearman Archer means you are going to be able to put these guys in the dirt. And it is actually going to be Pro Scouts behind this though. The Stables comes in and the Scouts are coming in. But it's not all defensive or all economy, because you are still going to get the extra juice on the Jiangnan Tower, which does translate itself into units. So not bad at all, but a very interesting play from both players. And yeah, Yeoman, not something you typically want to go. They cost 95 resources, which is insane because they don't feel worth 95 resources. Oh, we cancel one of the back, so we're going to just stick on the 1. I mean, Billman really is there just to get the debuff. Sorry, Spearman is just there for the Billman debuff, which you still have to research. You don't get for free. Blacksmith, so we can get the +1 as well. But it's going to be a little bit dangerous for a minute. But it's really, at the moment, for Numudan, only really caring about securing the Pro Scouts, not needing to worry too much about a dive. Whereas for Lucifron, he's going to want to get across. Oh, what the frick? Okay, just for a second, he had Siege Engineering queued up. But then correctly switches to +1 range attack. I thought I was losing my mind for a second. Which is very nice. Still just, yeah, early Palace Guard. So with the extra speed and no hard counter against them, it kind of makes it okay. But you see there, like, it was before +1 attack comes in, but that's not very much damage. There's just 2 of them, but they only do 3 damage a pop. Which is not a hell of a lot. And there is a decent amount of that Pro Scouting coming in. Oh, actually, no, less than I thought. That's only 4 there so far. And this really means that Numudan has to break out of this. He's got to be able to fight this army to be able to get out and Pro Scout anything. He's got +1 range defense, so that's big, but +1 range attack is in. So it is going to be... No, it's not in. It's almost in. Which means it's going to be 6 against 3, so it is going to be 3 damage a pop. Which means he's going to need a lot of Yeoman, Lucifron. And just, I guess, a handful of... No, he's going to need to make more Spearmen here, yeah, as there's going to be Horsemen coming in as well. But that does play... And honestly, it kind of plays into Lucifron's hands. Because not only is he going to be able to get make Spearmen into the Horsemen, but he's then going to be able to turn that later on into the Billman upgrade, which is going to help against the Palace Guard. So I'm not quite sure how this plays out for Numudan. I've literally never seen this before. Don't get me wrong. So I'm figuring it out on the fly, but I can't help but feel this does play into, believe it or not, Lancaster's hands. Though the pump from Xiangnan Tower, which he has on the Zhuge-Nu and Palace Guard, does make for a nice transition. But with Zhuge-Nu Palace Guard? No, I'm wrong. Wait, no, I'm right. He does have it on this. The Zhuge-Nu aren't going to have +1 attack, at least not for the minute. They're going to kill both? They do have rocket shoes. Does he kill both? He kills neither. Oof. As the 4 Zhuge-Nu do pop out now. But with no +1 attack and no other Zhuge-Nu behind it, it doesn't feel that scary. And then the other units were just Palace Guard, which he was already making. Scout runs into its death. And the Zhuge-Nu are getting picked off. There are spearmen out here. There's no horsemen here to fight with it. Actually, it was just 1 horseman being made from Numudan. Otherwise, prioritizing just making those Palace Guard. And they are doing pretty tanky, but the yeoman count's increasing. I get the idea from Numudan trying to force yeoman because they're expensive and shit, but it's maybe still a bit dangerous. And they are fast as yeomen, so they can kite. And that's why we see the Lords of Lancaster, funnily enough, lagging behind. And the Spearmen and the Lords of Lancaster are the ones taking the brunt of the Palace Guard's damage. But if they can get away and survive, or maybe not quite, then it is not a bad place for Numudan. But honestly, if we take a look at destroyed value, it's in Lucifron's favor, and the military count is in Lucifron's favor as well. Which ultimately Numudan is just trying to secure up his pro scout so they can go castle, I guess, right? That's the plan. And actually, second stable coming in now. Another outpost coming. Okay, so he's going to look to go castle, I think, behind the pro scouting. He's got 3 of these bad boys left down here. He did manage to pick up the middle, and that's why, the full commitment with the Palace Guard. So, not too bad. Not too bad. And his castle transition is going to be just around the corner, and you can't really all in with the yeoman. All you can try to do is deny, and if the pro scouts get home, you're not going to be able to deny anything under the mill and the TC. And of course, the 2 golds are next to each other actually as well. I didn't even notice that. But that's really nice, whereas Lucifron's is fucking all the way out here. But that's really nice to be able to secure up that mid castle as well. So with Mount Luke Academy coming up quickly, of course that Tang Dynasty giving that cheaper age up or landmark cost, which is very nice. Yeah, okay, there's just 2 deer not there. But that's not a big deal for Lucifron, who's got... Yeah, actually, you don't see deer carcasses with that anyway. What am I doing? No sheep left, but plenty of deer left. And now he's up. And now he can make, as many lances as he wants, I guess. Lances and upgrade the Palace Guard. Yeah, there's the Palace Guard upgrade coming in. He's even boosting it up with the IO, of which he's got just 2 of them. But that's enough for right now. And we aren't going to see... Yeah, no, it is going to be Lances. I take it back. Lances coming out. So, it's a bit scary there for Lucifron. He's remacroed himself. Everything is off wood. That's just the mana wood left. But the thing about only having yeomen in your army is there's nothing for him to aggress. The only thing he could potentially do is deny the last two deer from the pro scouting. But that's not really going to happen or do anything. And he's going to get himself up to castle here momentarily. But very much behind Numudan, who is pretty comfortable. Able to get his upgrades in, able to make knights. Knights, upgraded palace guards. And there's only a handful of spearmen there for Lucifron, who can't really produce any now. It is going to be White Tower. Where we're going to make it. We can't make it in the front. It's too dangerous. Oh, we're going to have to make it right by our TC. That never feels good. Steve, how you doing, mate? So this is definitely out of necessity more than anything for Lucifron, but does need this White Tower. The Earl's Guard will be helpful, but not the biggest trick. It's more for denying any potential dive that's going to come in under his TC. And it's tough going here, especially with the timing window being in. There's 27 upgrade. I was going to say taking it up. There's not 27 here. There's a 14 more coming across. The yeomen are firing, but remember, these guys got leveled up. They got 3+2. The ranged upgrade comes in. That's 5 armor against 6 attack. We do 1 damage to these Palace Guard, which means they are not going to die to only yeoman damage here. But the White Tower does go up. even though 7 villages have gone down ultimately. And why is it shooting so far? Regardless, it does push them away, but this is such a huge position for Numudan to be in. He's even pro-scouting the remainder of these deer, which is a bit cheeky, but I like it. 3 scouts still alive for Numudan, so what else are you going to do with them? Especially on coastal cliffs where you can't really see anything. You don't need to see much. These yeomen come in, but they're more for a scouting mission than to get anything else done. With the castle age, getting the yeoman upgrade would mean they do a lot more. Plus, when +2 can come in, it also means that the damage capability of them is pretty high, especially against Palace Guard, which do naturally have that 1 less ranged armor. That means that they're 1 more damage better than it would be against other civilizations or other men-at-arms in this situation. That's something they got going for them. And then, of course, against knights, if you are going to be making spearmen, you can get the billman, which does reduce armor by 1, which even if that's not necessarily going to be against all of the Palace Guard, it's not nothing. So it does come in handy. And especially if it is just going to be, what's just knights really at this point. We do have the monks coming out now for, where is it? For Numudan. And he's going to come across to try to pick up these 3 in the middle. Like most EGC maps, there's sort of 1 on either side for either player close to them, and then 3 across in the middle. But a bit tough. Do we have any more manas or anything? No, still just 1 mana. We never went back out on stone. This mana is still sort of dealing with actually with most of what they've got, except for the food from Lucifron, so it's not the end of the world. Crossbows are the name of the game though for Lucifron. Spear, crossbow, which is a good combination, but when you're down in number, it feels very, very bad. And especially when you're down in economy. And Lucifron is really struggling in the economy department, especially as Numudan is going to start to collect these relics up with his monks, which is going to feel very nice. As Numudan, he's like game 1, he's in no rush. He doesn't have to really worry about doing too much. He just has to secure the middle of this map, keep his eco pumping, stay ahead economically, and he will slowly continue to get ahead in this game. So a really, really nice position to be in for him. And even this white tower isn't really defending anything. So as far as the map control goes, yeah, there's no concerns whatsoever. Lucifron going to have to take some risks. He comes back out here, knows he has to be on the map for the food. Getting the monk to try... Do we have a rally point for this? Maybe try to contest one of the relics. If he can get 2 to 3, that's still a good position for him to be in. And we see the damage coming in there from the yeoman and crossbows, which is a lot higher now. +2, almost coming in, about halfway done, which does a lot of job, a good job against even the armored units. But it's not going to be a hard counter. And even with all of this military or infantry might of Lucifron, as best as he can, looking for a straight up fight he's not going to get. But Numudan is now making Nest of Bees, which is going to be a pretty hard counter against all of this, to be honest. Even with that greater health from the Lords of Lancaster. Billman upgrade is coming in, which is nice to have there for Numudan. But again, not in much rush. Getting the siege in, getting the units in, and this crossbow switch there for Numudan. He's got nothing on gold, which doesn't make any sense to me. Where are we going? Why do we not need gold? What are we going to make that means we don't need gold? No, he is going out to that gold now. Yeah, confusing me a little bit there. Cheers, Steve, mate. I'm good, by the way. I'm good. Living large. This is going to be my last series, by the way. So if this ends now, I actually did not even consider whether this could end now, but it could. I'm not going to cast the next 2 because I'm going out to watch the New Zealand, England World Cup warm-up game. Friendly. Which is on in a couple of hours. So going out with Grace to the pub, get some food, and then go watch that game, which New Zealand will inevitably lose, but it'll be a very fun experience to be a part of, especially in an English pub. Now, Numudan even pro-scouting a couple of poor Lucifron's deer on the backside, which actually might make it home. There's no way, right? There is a scout here, no? No, he doesn't see very much. And they are going to make it home, which is a bit cheeky. Relic counts, quickly. It is going to be 3-2 all up. In Numudan's favor. And now it's a battle of the armies down the middle. So Lucifron did a good job sort of denying a bit of the middle. He was able to secure up his deer, get out to his berries here, and he will be able to get this boar. Getting this wall up would be huge if he can secure it, because Numudan has got his eyes on his own food down here with the boar. Oh, actually, one of them does have to drop at the scout, but the other one is going to get away. And actually, the scout, if Numudan's got the presence of mind, we'll go back and pick up the other one. Very nice. And thank you, Quality of Life Changes, to Pro Scouts for making this not an absolute nightmare to deal with, as they will go home by themselves. But yeah, no, pretty nice there. But economically, I think the biggest problem is still that, like, Lucifron has been behind for so long. He's 4,000 down in resources collected. Down in villages. Has he made more manas yet? No, there's no more manas. It's just the one. This one's sitting in the middle, which is affecting literally 0 villages. So it's just bringing us in 40 and 20. So a villager and a half worth of resources out of that mana. Not exactly the civilization bonus you would hope to have in this situation. And Lucifron is, sorry, Numudan is kind of free to be with his army in the middle. Try to push Lucifron back as best he can, and then get those lances in around to try to find as much damage as they can. Now, he's not finding a lot of damage because everything is within Lucifron's base, or this part of the front where his army is. So there's not a lot to raid, which might feel like it's a bad thing for Numudan, but honestly, there not being a lot to raid is not a terrible thing, because there's not a lot of eco in the middle either. It's kind of okay. Numudan just needs to not lose everything that he has in like one big fight, or like throw these away trying to get too much damage by diving too deep. Everything's kind of going to be okay for him. He's in a great economic position. Win condition wise is a little bit different, because he's not able to secure up this like second sacred site or anything like you sometimes see with this type of game, where if you can take the map control, you can take both sacred sites, you can kind of put your opponent on a timer, and that contain has a much greater effect. But I mean, don't pretend like the contain doesn't have an effect. There's a lot of idle villages here which are going to have to make farms very soon. And Lucifron, I think he knows he is on that little bit of a timer. Even if it's not ticking in the top left of his screen, he knows he's got to make something happen if he's going to be super behind economically. And looking to come out a little bit, but not willing to make any commitment. I think that might have been the first time Lucifron saw the Nista Bees. I'm not 100% sure on that, but definitely saw them and moved back. And obviously, two upgraded, Springleton upgraded outposts on that ball make it very difficult for Lucifron to try to break out with just this infantry mass. I say infantry mass, but he's actually got a lot of Hobbler in there as well. And he has made another mana. I'm not sure where that went down. Here we go. So at least to get on the wood villages, which is nice. But this actually doesn't even touch the gold villages either. So we're not getting full value out of that. But perhaps we'll see more come in as well. Hobbler are looking to charge in. But this looks like a very dangerous fight. Big sink shot that doesn't do very much, unfortunately. Just some damage on a few of the infantry. Splitting up the army big to try to negate the Nista Beast. But one Nista Beast shot doing like 4 to 5 times as much damage as that synchronized shot did. The yeomen, they do have those nitro boots. They run very quickly, so being able to micro them in and out against whatever units you can fight is very nice. One Hobbler running through to get that scouting information from Lucifron. Very nice presence of mind to do that there. But ultimately, like militarily, it's really not going his way. As every time these Nista Beasts shoot, there's a lot of those yeomen or spearmen which are going down. And it's really the mass which he needs. This is a Chinese wall, or Jushi wall coming in, and Lucifron is deciding he's going to go for it. It's a very small military mass from Lucifron, but knowing this is his time, the only time he has to make something happen. We hear one of the lords go down. There's a plenty of fight in the middle, and no, there isn't plenty of fight at all. Lucifron's got nothing left in the tank. The army was half dead by the time he managed to take the fight. Knows he's got a move to try to make something work. And ultimately, as soon as the fight starts, he knows it ain't going his way. And the series ain't going his way. Numudan takes it 3-1 pretty comfortably, to be honest. Is able to bring it out in this series, take a huge economic lead in this game and close it up very, very comfortably. And in the first game was able to do the same. And then played a great game. A nail biter in the Roos against KT on 4 lakes, but that's 3 wins. That's all he needs for Numudan. Great series, well played, Numudan. Who was gonna take that win going into the rest of the group stage. Honestly, really impressive from the guy. Saying his praises all series as someone who's kind of having a bit of a breakthrough at the minute, and I think it showed. I think he played great. Credit Lucifron for you know, giving him a good test. But I think Numudan, you know, made him look not like a finalist in the last S-tier tournament, you know? Very well played. And I'm not really sure what Lucifron could have done there, to be honest. What were the... Just going to double check the snipes there on that one as we jump out. The snipes on that one were Biz and China. So Lucifron did put forward House of Lancaster instead of putting forward Japanese or Tuk. I guess you can't really put forward Tuklak. So rating House of Lancaster there rather than Japanese. But looking at like what's left in the draft as well, like I sort of favored Numudan for the last map, and the last map was I can't remember which one, but it was a land map. Helen Dale was going to be the last one. So really, really well played. GG's Numudan, man. He moves on. Okay, I want to have a little look at the bracket. Let me have a look at it before I do, in case there are a lot of spoilers. Or maybe it's okay to show spoilers since everything's happened concurrently. This is all group stage. All right, let's have a look through the wiki. If you don't want to know what the other series are, look away. You have 3 seconds. Okay. So there's a bunch of group stage games. So everyone plays everyone, I believe. And there are 8 in each group. It's a full round robin. So yeah, we play over 4 days, 2 weekends. And there are 7 rounds, so everyone plays everybody. We just saw Numudan beats Lucifron. Beasty beat Corvinus earlier. And oh, B did beat Louis. Shit, I was going to go back and watch that. I'm spoiling myself, actually. I was going to go back and watch these games. Anno beat Dimu. Kiljadi beat Gully. We saw the little bit of the last game, but on 8 times speed, which was a nice Abbasid game, actually. I kind of want to go back and watch that one. Vortex over Dimu and Marine Lord over Gully. And we've got Puppy beating Louis at the minute. And yeah, Numu over Lucifron. Crazy. So the other games at the minute is Louis Puppy or just Louis Puppy. I might just have a quick look to see how that's going and whether it's worth having a look. Interesting KT vs Japan game between B and Louis. Definitely watch that. Okay, I will do. Will do. I'm very, very interested to see Louis' games this tournament since he's sort of coming back off it. But he's been doing so well in practice, watching him play on people's streams. Maybe this game's over? Puppy Louis, right? I don't see it, so it must be over. And the next round has started for a lot of these players already. Or maybe that's the same. What's the schedule? Oh, Beasty MSN. I wanted to watch that so bad, but I gotta go. They've started. Just started. And Marine Lord Voldy has started as well. I'm a bit gutted, actually. I really wanted to watch MSN. Okay, the other series must have finished. Unless you're in between games, it looks like it might be the case that Puppy beat Louis. Anyway, unfortunately that's all I can do. I gotta get out of here. That was really fun. I do plan on doing some more tomorrow, and hopefully as it starts. Is this... No, this is just Saturday, right? Okay, never mind. Yeah, hopefully as it starts, but I don't know exactly when, because there's a few things I have to do tomorrow. And I've got to call my family in the morning as well, so I'll be running around for most of the day doing admin type stuff. But I'll be on at some point. And hopefully across all of the people who are casting, we'll be able to see as many games as possible. So whatever it is people want to watch, they can. As with this format, there are just so many games happening. 4 series happening at any one time, which is really cool. And in the playoffs are going to be a lot of fun because, well, sorry, the whole group stage is going to be fun because the seeding matters a lot. Because you get seeded into different parts of the playoffs. You can be seeded in, like first place gets seeded straight into the semifinals, and then round of 6 and then round of 8 below that. So whether you finish first or second as opposed to third or fourth makes a big difference. So it makes all the games very exciting, kind of similar to the format we had at Homestead Cup in a way, similar philosophy at least. And then yeah, it means we're gonna have 2 awesome weekends, this one and next one, and then playoffs are going to be very exciting as well, as they always are. All right, thank you guys so much, really appreciate it. I won't rate anyone, you guys know where the games are. Go watch some more, have a lovely rest of your evening, and hopefully catch y'all tomorrow. But if I don't see you tomorrow, that's all good. We'll see you another time. Thanks guys, enjoy, love ya.